Greetings, stowaways.
Greetings, stowaways. This episode comes with a content warning for grief.
Also, the episode has no break in the middle, so please be sure to pace yourselves accordingly.
Thank you, and enjoy the show. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie Bellekom, Sam Buster Safe Burns, and Ellie Embezzlement Smith Sparrow.
Embezzlement Smith is definitely like the forgotten Cluedo character.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
In the study with the lead piping, it was Embezzlement Smith.
Embezzlement Smith, known for their actual, strict scrupulousness when it comes to financial figures and murder.
Yes. Very good at the money and the murders.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The man you can trust with your money, but not with your life.
What is tax deductible from a murder? Like a page one.
Lead pipe.
Well, everything if you're an assassin.
Yeah, I mean, you generally want to avoid... I mean, you probably want
If we
to
imagine
pay your
it's a
taxes,
thing.
but through laundered fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question.
Knife purchases.
If you're like,
Yeah.
if you're like a CIA
I tax deduct
assassin,
knives.
or
Why
'cause
do
we're
you
not in
tax
America.
deduct knives?
Because I do
Puppetry.
making.
Yeah.
true.
You make things
I
with knives.
get through a lot of scalpel blades.
That's actually unsurprising. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Derek, but that's a separate thing.
Derek loves a knife.
He sure
Derek
does.
is Robbie's LARP puppet that comes
Yeah.
to LARP with them. He's
I thought you were going to say come to life
Mortifying.
for a moment.
he comes to when they come to
He's
LARP.
literally behind me and I'm
He
worried I'm going
comes
to
to
get
life.
stabbed now.
I know for a fact you're sitting with your back to the wall, and that's
Not
just...
anymore. I
Oh,
have to
no.
sit in a weird place so that I can reach the microphone.
Yay!
Oh, dear.
It's fine. Derek's never once come to life. Not once.
Not
Never.
I'll just give you a wee back massage, it'll be fine.
I'm so concerned.
I know I was going to
It's
say-
fine. It's not like he has a face or anything.
I don't know if he'd be worse with or without a face.
Oh, I don't know
I'm
either.
so
I
tempted
mean,
to put googly eyes under the mask.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I did have that phase of putting faces on him. Robbie left him in the back of a Zoom call once when we were having tea, and I obviously took a screenshot and have been periodically sending them Derek with different facial expressions.
Various moustaches.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
I would say
genius.
most of them he is worse with. Like, definitely.
Better than his... Well, you know, it's worse than his blank staring white face.
What is worse than a blank staring white face? To answer that and fail to answer other questions, it's time for us to cast our minds into the present and into the future, past, who knows, the mists of temporality,
Don't
and
know,
demand future us what messages from the present.
We looked into the past, and Derek's white, staring face looked back at us. Then we stopped looking into the past rather hurriedly. The end.
Yep, don't look into the
No,
past,
I've
kids.
just
Only
realised
Derek
I
waits
wrote
there.
I wrote loads of notes after the last session about what Scamp and Victory talked about in the whole month they were stuck together. I sent none of those to Jason, so I'm going to consider them canon and he can just catch up.
Oh, wow. Great.
Wow.
Lovely.
Sorry. I'm the worst. I'll send them to you later.
Always.
There's
you.
there's nothing important there, really.
No, but it'd be a lovely... I'll adapt accordingly.
We
I
just
doubt
hand
it'll
wave that they
come up.
know all of the stuff we've done up to this point.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
least.
part of it
Yeah.
was just
Victory is now up to date on...
up to date with the podcast.
Yeah.
She's waiting for the next episode.
Yeah.
She's actually on a cliffhanger that she's part of.
Yes,
because it's her life.
frozen in
Yeah.
time. Appropriately for the current episodes. See, now I'm just imagining a huge, inexplicably this time white door on which is just painted in black. Only Derek Beyond.
Oh no.
Oh, what a terrible... I mean, okay, there are two doors. One says only Derek beyond. The other says only death beyond. Which are you taking? Because I'd have to take a second.
Is anyone not taking death?
And on that cheerful note, it's time to begin, Derek. It's time to begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. No Derek, but possibly a Dennis.
Dennis!
The party continue to make their way through the Cirrus Citadel, the lost sanctum of sorcerers. Having passed through a number of strange and otherworldly wings of the Citadel, after a confrontation with the seer, in fact, Phoebe, otherwise known as Cassandra, the party received a number of answers to questions about their greater plans, and made their way into the next sanctum, that one built to resemble a sort of 12th century Gothic cathedral, though notably absent in symbols of the regent. At one end, a mysterious knight, garbed all in black with a dark full face helmet, who seemed to move jerkily, and then when Victory attempted to cross the threshold, apparently beat the living shit out of her in a fraction of a second. However, after managing to get around a door that could not be opened, and venturing into a just terrible tiny pokey flat, where where they discovered that there was no way except spending time to open the door beyond, the party realised that they had reached the one and quite possibly only temporal dilation chamber in the entirety of this setting, and decided that this was genuinely the best possible time to go cold turkey on the Eye of the Storm.
Yay!
And you know what? Over the course of about 8 seconds,
Wow.
the party at Celestia spent 4 days in solid withdrawal.
Oh, is it 2 seconds a day?
Yeah, it was a minute for a month to pass.
Oh, wow.
Wow. No, that is 2 seconds a day. Yeah. Shit. That's mad.
Listeners at home, you can work out that time dilation rate yourselves. But
It's our fun treat to you.
so yes, you have while
We've had a long rest.
You've definitely all had a long rest. Yeah, you've got all your spell slots back, all of your hit points, and in Celestia's case, lost about 5 points of intelligence and the ability to scry at will.
I've had a Jimmy with my stats. They're not as good now.
Oh yes. While you
I'm the brains of the party.
Yeah.
you legitimately may be
And I don't have many of those.
I
We're
think.
not smart.
Yeah, no. I think you're either ahead of or on par with Victory. So
Oh no.
you legitimately are the brains of the party.
What's victory?
What's yours?
13.
Oh, you're slightly ahead.
I mean, functionally,
Okay.
we're all the same
Yeah.
because we're all +1.
But yeah.
Scamp's the smartest.
Oh my god, I'm noting up my stats for today because I always do like a little table for my spells so that I don't rip my character sheet to pieces. And I've just realised this is the first time since episode 47 that I'm not writing down past and future tallies
Yeah.
or like
You are
awareness and
free of the
stuff.
system.
That's really weird because they're like one of my things that I write down. It feels really strange not to be doing it. Ah, fun
Oh.
though, interesting.
Which is a valid point, actually. I remember.
And
yeah,
scrying.
you've
Got like how many scries have you got left? None.
you'll return to your normal intelligence modifier.
Yeah.
Because I remember
There's
now.
a lot less, lads.
Yeah, I remembered now. Actually, it wasn't a modifier. The Eye of the Storm just sets your intelligence to 19 if it's below 19.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Would you like to know what Celestia's intelligence is for comedy? It's 12.
Go on.
So that's like a significant decrease.
Yep, down by
Same as
7
Corzin.
points.
Yep.
Oh, and 3 modifier. Oh, what a gay old time we shall have. Yes, while Celestia has successfully evaded the potentially lethal at one point exhaustion levels,
Out for your luck, not lethal.
the bright side is that, or rather, the cloud to the silver lining is obviously, probably, definitely some lasting effect in how you're thinking and how you're feeling. Yay!
Yay. Oh yeah, no, they're not good.
No. However, the other thing that you engaged in previously was running your fingers over a lovely set of bas-reliefs in this Ersatz Cathedral, in which you learned more about the life and times of a figure who you have arbitrarily decided to call Dennis.
Was there no good reason?
I gave you the option of going north. I think it was. It was. Did you want to check east, south, west, or Dennis?
So, in answer to your question, was there no good reason? There was a reason. It's just good might be a bit of a stretch.
And you.
But this person might not be called Dennis.
This
and I
person-
will not accept that. I don't want them to be anything other than a Dennis.
This person cannot be Dennis because that would be ridiculous if they were.
Is Dennis one of those names that actually, well, historically speaking, no, that checks out. It's like the Tiffany
Yeah.
problem.
Surprisingly old names.
Yeah.
But yes, regardless of this figure's actual name, which is not known to you, you have followed the life of what appears to be a tiefling, who you've decided to call Dennis, growing up in, as far as you can tell, rank serfdom, and learning and discovering his powers. Journeying, you saw how, in fact, narrated apparently by Dennis himself, to some degree, an ethereal voice, talking about how his people grew up under the thumb or the boot of the boyars, and how they were doomed to a life of serfdom and oppression. He ventured out seeking a way to change things, and in the process learning of his own sorcerous powers, powers that seem certainly to relate to undeath in a significant way, at least based on the 2 skeletons you've encountered thus far, who admittedly didn't come to life and attack you or anything, but were sat cheerfully in place until you removed the amulets around their necks, at which point they just crumbled into bones. A more significant piece of evidence, though, would be the bas-reliefs of the armies of the undead.
All them pictures of the
And horned figures wielding farming implements, fighting against as far as you can tell, the forces of the light, based on them being heavily armed cavalry and always being like lit by god rays and so on. And although it has to say that the forces of darkness, for want of the fact that they're covered in clouds, have been led by a figure all in armour with a full face visor, very much like the Black Knight on the other side of the cathedral. Having in the second chamber, you found evidence that from the pictures that the figure travelled to none other than Kibir Nagash, the ancient city deep in the great forest of Meadmere, based on the fact that you recognise the bas-reliefs of the structures there, and indeed of one particular door. The figure, after retrieving the second, and I believe the bas-relief of the door might actually have been hidden in the chamber within, when you retrieved the second piece of the amulet. You now step back out and return to the bas-reliefs beside the central door of the three doors on the back of this cathedral nave. You are once again in front of the bas-reliefs, or the set of bas-reliefs that depict the sort of Black Knight figure riding through the countryside, raising the dead, or gathering, or seeming to gather together peasant rabbles. While separately there are sort of holy knight-looking figures gathering their armored forces together, and one in particular you can see always has been carved in such a way that they always seem to be haloed by light.
What's he then, like the leader?
It makes sense given how it's being depicted here, right?
Shall we touch the things?
Yeah.
Touch the things.
Scamp, you reach out and touch.
Poke it with my tail.
Yep, poke it with your tail. And again,
It's adorable.
ethereal voice narrates. After the revelations that I had learned, I knew I had now the power and the means to make a difference. I began to journey through my homeland, raising support from those exhausted by the excesses of our would-be betters, and by embracing the magic that I had come to know and understand. Yet my actions were not without notice. Seeing the threat that we represented, the boyars turned to a force of light, of terrible, blinding light. We gathered our armies. At this point, as you run your hand along, you reach the original bas-relief of the two forces clashing. And time and time again, I met the forces of the Dawnbringer, who fought on behalf of the Regent. The boyars gladly embraced her power and brought them down upon our people again and again. We fought, we resisted, but I could not be everywhere. The next bas-relief, and this is, I think, the one just before the third door, is... At first you think it's the aftermath of one of these battles, but then you see the burnt-out buildings, the ruined crops, and you realise that the horned figures, not just horned figures, but more horned than not, strewn across the ground, have been butchered rather than slain in battle. When they could not strike, when they could not achieve victory against me, they turned to sap the sources of my support. My enemies, the Dawnbringer, she whispered poison into the ears of all who would listen. Use this to gain support, claiming that they could never be safe. The darkness ran within our very souls. It was then I came to see a different path. If they would claim that I was this spawn of darkness, I would show them what darkness could do. There are more bas-reliefs beyond the third door, but the third door is now in front of you.
The pictures of all the Lightbringer person, Dawnbringer, what's it? Do they look like Hyperion? And all that? Are we talking the same Dawn, or is this a different?
It's an interesting one. They definitely don't look like the 12-year-old.
No, but is there a sort of that there was an energy and a vibe to that place?
But yes, like this figure, the knightly looking figure, like woman with like a sort of orcish looking woman with the streaming back golden hair and the literal rising
this is sorcerer
sun
versus sorcerer.
Crest on emblazoned on her armor. Yeah, you're definitely
go
getting
back to Hyperion and give her a kick.
Yes, I mean, is the regent her fault? Or did I misunderstand that?
She was on the
She's on the side of the regent. Did she amass an army for the regent, and that's partly why they won?
I think maybe she's the reason tieflings aren't a thing in the same way that there could have been once. I think maybe she's the reason tieflings are monster. Yeah. Darkness. Like, we literally can make it dark. That's just a tiefling thing. This is... Yeah.
It's also a drow thing, but I mean, they didn't know that.
Nah, but you're all underground out the way.
Yeah, we're not, spawn of demons or whatever, apparently.
Yeah.
As though those things fucking matter, but
Okay.
I mean,
so this is fun.
Technically, Victoria looks to you. You and I are literally the spawn of a demon.
Yeah, but
Like, directly.
That's actually true.
Yeah, fuck that guy, though.
I mean, I'm also a spawn of a demon in some senses.
Corzin?
She's
Could get a whole set here.
No, I think your parents were nice barrel makers, really, weren't they? So,
Threshers.
Sorry, I don't know where I got barrel makers from. I said, out of character. What is a thresher?
Thresher is someone who beats
Threshers.
who threshes, who beats wheat
wheat
with
from the chaff.
a stick.
Why the fuck did I think a thresher was a barrel maker?
That's a cooper.
Are you thinking? Yeah, you're thinking of a Cooper.
Oh, you know what it is? There's somewhere in
in a barrel
London
that time?
that has, I think, 2 pubs down the road from each other that are threshers and coopers. And one of them has a barrel on the
that's
top.
probably it.
So I had assigned that as like, oh, that's what a barrel maker is, and I've got them mixed up, the pubs. That's the most sideways reason to have got a word wrong. That's honestly why.
I love it, though. I love it.
I feel we've definitely
understandable
we've
mistake.
definitely met a halfling called Butterbarrel or something.
Yeah.
A couple. Harold Butterbarrel.
It was
Harold
Butterbar.
Butterbar. Yes,
Oh,
that was
he
it.
was really
Back in
early.
Crosswater.
We had a joint
Yep.
out the back of his house
Yeah.
once.
Yep.
As far as I remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Nearly killed his
I
wife
had
and then
a,
pretended it wasn't us, I think. So, yeah. As far as I remember. Anyway, continue.
Corzin thinks for a moment and says, well, I know I had a great uncle once who was a bit of a demon in a skittle alley, but I don't think that was quite exactly the same thing.
I've got to admit, when you started with a word beginning with S and you said demon in I did not expect Skittle Alley.
Huh.
I'm not censoring that for young ears.
Who do you think you're with?
Well, quite. Well,
I know
My
we're all
point
younger
exactly,
than you, but like
Celestia.
fucking hell.
no, that was my point, Celestia. Oh, never mind.
Also, your fucking child has had it all by now, let's be honest.
Well, when you grow up on a ship
Yeah.
and around sailors, yep,
Fucking right.
Yeah.
absolutely. So, this whole thing, though, does also prove the point that, while parentage is not nothing, equating it like this is just bollocks.
Yeah, but it also is bollocks that leads to mass murder, so...
Yeah. 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 I have a question.
Yes.
Where's the clue to open the fucking door?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
sorry. This is literally. This isn't like this door is much like the second door. Is actually a nice blackwood door with a brass handle.
Oh, you can just open it.
Yes, yeah. Like
cracking.
You having gotten used to the first door and the second door, you say that and then you're like, oh no, this is.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I did not do noticing there. Yeah.
That's alright.
Sorry, it's been a rough few days.
Yeah. We should
Yeah.
go through this door that has a very obvious handle right on it. Yep.
How about some of us step back and then one of us open this door with a really obvious handle? I don't
suppose we
trust
could-
anything.
We're gonna have a look at it and see if we think it's got any trappy bits on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, worth doing. All right, let's have a look.
Okay, who wants to lead the investigation check?
Oh god, is it still me? Is the best?
You're still the best at this.
Oh god.
Because
is it?
I'm
will
not
assist you.
proficient and you got the job.
Yeah, stowaways. How stupid the party actually was originally made is about to show up, like quite horrifically, if I'm honest. So are either of you helping?
Yes.
Yep, I'm assisting you.
Oh, dude. Okay. That's actually a nat 20.
Oh, great.
So we have
Nice.
a fluke. We have a fluke good one.
Okay, you take a moment, like a few
Full
minutes to
sense
really
of security.
thoroughly study this door. As far as you can tell, this door is indeed designed to open
And is not trapped
smoothly
in
and
any
safely,
way.
and does not appear to be trapped.
This appears to be a door. But I don't know if I trust myself on that one, to be honest. Does anyone else see anything? Anyone else?
Look, I understand.
No.
I understand it's been a rough couple of days, and we're in a place that has had a lot of these right now. But it
Rough
is
couple of
kind
days.
of,
It's been a month, mate, for me.
I've gotten taller.
Yeah.
We've both
Oh,
gotten
no.
taller.
You're taller than me now.
Actually, I hadn't twigged that. All right.
You're like
yeah.
half an inch.
Yeah.
Trust me, it all counts when you've got. Anyway, never mind.
It all counts when you're a tiny little bastard. Is that what you're going to say, Corzin?
Every last eighth of an inch.
Every inch counts. You heard it here first, folks.
This is
Corzin
fine.
is making a
From the life of Captain Horhace.
an expression.
Every inch counts. That's what we'll write. If you kill the Kraken, that's what we'll quote you in all the newspapers.
Yeah, it's gonna go in a book.
What did he say as the Kraken died? He said every inch counts.
Well, there's probably going to be a certain amount of impaling involved.
Every inch counts, Corzin.
No, no. Ow,
You can't
I hate
fuck
you
the
both.
Kraken to death, Corzin. That's messed up.
What? Oh.
Should we open this door?
Please, Victory.
Yeah, the point I was
Step forward
trying to
and
make
stop
before we got
feel like
sidetracked
there's
was
a-
that it doesn't make sense to trap a
Oh
door.
my god, open the fucking
in middle
door. I'm
of
going to
a-
open it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You'll rush to it and get a hold of the handle, and it smoothly and easily clicks and swings open. Beyond it, you find another door. But specifically, you also there's more than that. The first thing you do see, though, okay, you see a few things off the bat. One of which is probably about 15 feet away on the other side of this room, is another door. This door is similar to the other doors that you have seen, in that it is a smooth black slab set into an archway with no apparent handle. There are this room is actually there are a handful of bas reliefs near the bas reliefs in this room. I'm actually going to say that there are two, one on one end and one on the other, and the ends are quite important because this room is surprisingly long. It's only about, you can see the other wall about 15 feet ahead of you, but it also runs about, honestly, you want to say like a good 80 feet to your left, 80 feet to your right. It's like one long, really long tube. And you can faintly see that at the far end of each, on each of these walls, there is a bas relief and something under it. It's kind of hard to make out exactly from this distance.
And the other door is ahead of us?
Is directly ahead of you. The only thing in between...
Send your picture in a minute, lads.
Yeah. The only thing
Thank
in
you.
between you and that door, Scamp, you can see that there appears to be a small raised stone beer, like a raised stone beer.
What is a beer in this context?
Essentially like a stone
Because
platform.
I'm picturing a pint. Cool,
Oh,
lovely.
so am I, and it's lovely.
No.
It's just a stone pint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm envious of your beer.
You can have a sip of my beer if you want
I
one.
might steal a sip of your beer.
I
Very
really want
welcome.
a beer now.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I could pass one through the microphone, I totally would.
But that would definitely invalidate the warranty.
Beer pouring
would.
sounds. Foley.
Beer,
Yeah.
sounds.
Oh, such high budget stuff.
But no, the raised stone platform, a beer, such as one might place a body on in preparation for burial, which is appropriate because, as far as you can see, there is a wrapped. There is a body on it, or at least a humanoid form that appears to be swathed entirely in white cloth, essentially in burial shroud.
This drawing's getting really good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So Scamp, that is what you see. Corzin and Celestia. The pair of you can also see a sort of amorphous mass of shadow clustering along the roof of this room, which is not that high up, probably only about, it's quite high, about 20 feet. It's like, like a good length up. It's a little vaulted ceiling. But yeah, there is sort of amorphous shadow across the top of it.
Does it look
I don't like the look of that.
when an undead goes down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it very much looks like the dark spirits.
And can we also see the body? Or
Yes, you can see the body as well. Like Scamp, you see everything Scamp does, but you also see this.
Oh, not loving that ceiling.
What's wrong with it?
What is that?
It's got all this sort of creepy, shadowy stuff on it. Oh, you've never seen it, but it happens when an undead goes down. A bit of shadow comes out of it, like a spirit. But it's like the ceiling is just covered.
There's like spirits in undead folks. There's
Sort of an animating
Did we
force,
talk about this before? I don't know. That sounds weird, though.
It is weird. I mean, it's also a very specific type of spirit. Like, they're not really like other spirits. And I didn't even know if it was a full spirit, to be honest. It was
Is that
just
why
some sort
folks
of
like get up again? Then there's like just spirits decide to pop in and say hi.
I suppose that would make sense.
I hadn't really thought of it like that, but not a million miles off.
Oh, but
That would make sense. I mean, if we think about what we learned about you two, with the whole, you float around until you find someone, maybe they have to find someone dead because they're not a full person like you are. Does that make any sense?
we still needed like a
Yeah,
body.
I'm following.
Yeah, but you needed life,
Yeah.
you know?
Huh.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah. Is that why it's not
Yeah.
always the same amount of time as well, isn't it? Maybe it's just how long it takes someone to find it.
Like those birds that eat dead people, like that.
Vultures.
Yeah,
Pigeons.
those ones. Yes. Those two, yep. Celestia doesn't know.
The Victory gives you a slight look. It's like
Anything will eat dead one person if you leave it out long enough.
I mean, yeah, like I've seen gulls do that, just not pigeons.
Fucking gulls.
I saw a gull eat a duck once.
You saw a gull eat a duck?
I'm sorry, you're shitting me.
No,
No,
the
I
duck
believe
was
it.
dead at the time, but it was still grim.
Right.
But because it was like floating in the water in this like lake pond thing, and it was just floating there. And then this gull landed. It was horrible.
This has the vibe of something that happened to Robbie, and I have to ask, did it?
Yeah, it did.
I
was on a little
fucking
boat
knew
and
it.
There was this dead duck floating around.
That is the worst. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Back
So
in. But I
grim.
was like, this happened to Robbie, and I can tell.
I love putting
need
weird
to ask.
shit into giving it to Scamp.
It's like the holding of the sheep brain all
Yeah,
over again.
yeah, one of those. Gulls eating ducks that are definitely dead and not alive like I pictured them, aside. I was picturing full-on battle going on.
Yeah, I have to admit, I
Very
was also
disturbing.
picturing a gull murdering a duck.
Yeah,
Oh, I bet they would too.
I just think maybe we should try not to die in here. If there's so much of
Well,
that,
it's generally the idea.
there's so much of that black stuff around.
Specifically in here, we maybe don't want. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't planning on it anyway, but it just Hang on, a fucking.
There were two
fucking
bodies
second.
what didn't get up.
Is that because all
Those-
the shit was in here?
But I just
That could have
I
taken
didn't
them
really
over.
think about it. There was those two skeletons, isn't there? And neither of them looked like they'd moved much.
Oh,
That's a good point.
it's just. I'm putting something together in my little foggy little brain. Was dead people getting up not a thing before this sorcerer in particular? Did he make
Well,
the
it's always-
dark stuff? Because I just assumed that had always happened, because that's what happens when dead bodies are dead bodies.
Well, as far as I know, it's always happened. I can't
How long
think of a...
ago was this? Was
Pre-Regency.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is pre-Regency.
I mean, he said that they fought the Regent, right?
Well, yeah, but Corzin, how old would you say this sort of architecture-y stuff is? Because, like...
Well, I'm not an expert, but,
Also, if this one's messing with time, we don't know this is the start of it.
well, it's definitely at least 500 or 600 years old, but the Regency's been around longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's probably been around 1798 years.
At least.
Yep, probably about that long. Yeah.
But we don't know that this was the first time this sorcerer necessarily... Like, the architecturist. I guess it probably is the first time this one popped up.
I guess I was making that leap because there was a whole battle where the regent won, and I was kind of wondering if that had been the start of the Regency. But I think maybe I've just made a leap that isn't necessarily... Maybe the regent was already a thing, they just had a fight.
No, it's further back, and yeah, there were a lot of holy wars back then.
Oh, fair.
I mean, especially with that, Dawny fucker around.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The impulse to shout "fuck Dawn" really loudly just because I'm letting LARP just slowly bleed in. I'm sorry to all my friends in Dawn, but fuck Dawn.
Dawn is a nation in the LARP that we do, if you're not from round these parts.
And fuck Dawn.
Yeah, fuck Dawn. we love you, really, promise. Out
Love
of
you,
character,
Karen.
we love you. In character, fuck Dawn.
Back to these characters, and this character in particular, Vitch goes, but yeah, like, she was fucking crazy, right? Though we can all agree with that.
Like, fucking nuts, man.
Like, I know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
family I grew up with, but like, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, the other one of her was actually reasonably down to earth, weirdly. I had a chat with him. He was interesting.
Oh, it's nice to know that when I reincarnate, it's going to be a fucking...
Coin toss, yep.
Yeah.
Feels like that's kind of every life, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am going to rack my brains as Corzin and see if I can think of any even like snatch of record I've ever come across that mentions, oh yeah, by the way, the dead are rising now, and that's a new thing.
Give me a history check. Or religion, your choice.
They're both the same.
I was there going, oh, can I do one of those at Celestia? No, I didn't listen in school. Absolutely not.
Tell me which one you're
That's
doing.
a 12. Oh, sorry, religion.
Religion. Or, as from your old regent school days, then you do remember you remember there being stories about like old saints in the early and like warriors and so on back in the early Regency days who were fighting who were fighting the undead and zombies and such, and you vaguely seem to recall some myths about fighting the dead, about the dead rising back in like the grand old days of Tyre, which would be pre-Regency if we're going to the really grand old days of Tyre.
Right.
So, yeah, as far as you know, the dead have been rising, since time immemorial.
Right, so at least for a good few thousand years. And Corzin sort of shakes his head for a second. So, I feel like if there was a period in history where the dead started to rise after having not, that would be a worldwide event, because it seems to happen like that everywhere. I've never been to a place in the world yet where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we've never
And if it
met
started at some point,
we've never met anyone who's like travelled in and been like, "Whoa, the dead are rising here." Like, no one's ever reacted to that.
yeah, and I feel like if that started at some point, then that's definitely got to be a defining moment in history, right?
Surely.
So this isn't something new, it's just something this person could use. Good to know.
What is that then? Still looks.
Well, there's been necromancers for as long as you want to go back.
Yeah.
So still
So
looks.
maybe
like
it's
black
just someone
stuff.
who's good at it.
But like, what is it? Is it a spirit?
I mean, like, I'm good with, wind and lightning and stuff, but that's been around since presumably ever.
I'm gonna ask
And
the
I'm
rain-
good at. I'm good at.
I mean, in
Yeah, this
fairness,
is
though, the
probably-
whole what's the word you used for it? Teleporting
It's fucking
thing.
amazing.
That's a big thing. Like that's new, or maybe new.
Old.
Also,
It's
you know,
old.
like changing reality when you feel like it's pretty fucking cool, darling.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, what else
Doesn't
would you
always
call it?
doesn't always work, though, does it? But then again, neither
Still
does the
something
lightning.
I'm very
so-
pleased about.
I'm gonna turn to the pride spirit. What do you think that is? Is that like you?
I mean, there's only so much that's like. There's only so
I mean,
much that's
nobody's
like me, darling.
like
But,
you, darling, of course. But is it in
Oh,
the
yeah,
way that
they're-
these
they're-
people are like me? Is that like you?
I guess. Right. They're like me in the way that the pretty blonde lady who wanted to start a coffee shop is like you.
What, Leah?
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I forget names.
That's alright. It's just slightly out of the blue. Leah mentioned you've thrown me a little bit.
Cut from a similar cloth, then.
So, like that we're both elves. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. I've got you. Cool. Yes.
Can your friend communicate with them?
Can you? That's a really good question. Can you say hello to them?
Hello.
I suppose the more interesting answer would be, can they answer back?
The
I can say
sort of
hello to them.
vaguely send sort of tendrils of rainbow, briefly strumming across the wispy black mist, which ripples a little, but continues to ripple. I don't think they're really together enough to say hello back.
They're not talking like you.
Not as they are right now, no.
Right. Okay. No, thank you.
Corzin
Good to
turns
know.
to the octopus. I don't suppose you've got any bright ideas?
Octopus looks up, shrugs. Yeah, they ain't got nothing holding them together.
Right, yeah, okay.
Well, you say they're
Well,
like, I don't know if I had to put words in it. They're like big heap of could be and not much is.
Right, they're a pile of bricks, they're not a house.
Suppose you say that.
Right. Huh, but I can make a pile of bricks into a house, sort of. Do you think we can do something with them?
Maybe. Depends on what. Also, I'm curious, like, did all of that come out of these? And he points to the shrouded body.
You have no idea. The body is... It's actually hard to make out many details about it. It's covered in white cloth. It looks to be maybe it's definitely humanoid. Hard to tell much about race or gender or sexual characteristics. About 5 feet in height.
Well, I suppose the question is, which of these bar reliefs do we want to go to first? I feel like it'd be the one on the left, wouldn't it?
That would make sense.
Unless we want to have a poke of the body first. Which seems like...
Well, maybe the bas reliefs will explain the body.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
What would happen if I cast animate objects on a body?
That for no reason.
I don't want to touch it, but I'd like to see it. just like move it around.
You could also just go and look at it. You don't have to touch
But I
it.
want to yeah, but it's got like a cloth on it. I want it to get off. And then, no, I'm worried about going close because what if all that horrible stuff up there just goes whoosh and goes in the body and then it's all everywhere.
I mean, I don't know how we avoid that if we want to do anything here, because we have to go into the room.
I kind of want to animate a corpse
I can
and
cast
see
a
what
circle
happens.
around it if we need to. If that's really what you're worried about, I can cast a circle around it that will prevent them from going through
Well,
it.
I'd be smart.
Also, I just had the idea of what happens if I animate a body. I thought it would be interesting, but actually it's pretty grim now I'm thinking about it.
I mean, it definitely do, I think, what you'd want it to do, but also a bit of a waste, right?
I also don't think it quite like. I mean, I don't know, unless you've got the some tricks up your sleeve I haven't heard about. It's not going to work the same way as raising the dead sort of.
Oh no, not at all. It'd just
It's
be
going to
like
be more like you just
like a
puppeting it.
shitty puppet, yeah.
Yeah, it would just be like if I was doing it on like a chair. It'd be the same sort of just waving it around.
Oh wow! So what you mean to say is not even a puppet. You can literally just fling a body
Wow.
around.
I could do that. That'd be more the tele.
I think either would work for it, shall we?
That's pretty grim. Let's go just look at it. Let's go look at the thing.
Can we just... it's right there. I'm going in. Is anyone coming?
I've got to go have a look.
Okay, you
Yeah.
step in.
All right.
Jeffrey, don't do it. No, not you, Jeffrey. We weren't talking about you. Don't touch the body, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey sulks, but does not touch the body. Okay, you approach the body. Up close. Yeah, it's really hard to tell features in this thing. It's just swaddled in fucking white cloth.
No sign of horns or anything like that.
No, it's like can't even see like hair or many features beyond like the vague bump of a nose.
But there's not obvious like antlers sticking out at least, so we know
Not that you can see, no.
Cool.
Right.
The cloth isn't stained in any way, is it?
Surprisingly pristine.
Any sort of indicate like any information, anything on it? Let's have a look around.
Yeah.
Let's have a prod around, see what we can see.
Okay, so when you say a prod around, please tell me exactly what you want to do.
An investigation.
We want to look
Looking
for
for any sort of
identifier, I guess.
yeah.
How
is there any
do you
information? Anything?
conduct this investigation?
What was it lying on?
On a flat
beer.
stone beer.
And there's no like carvings or information, or it's just completely flat. And featureless.
Yeah, I'd
A
want to
visual
look at the-
inspection indicates that aside from a sort of decorative repeating pattern around the sort of the edge of it, this is a flat, smooth beer of I'm going to say granite.
Okay.
The repeating pattern is a stylized image of a jug pouring water into a jug that is pouring water into a jug and rinsing and repeating all the way around.
Oh, that's cool. It's a
Interesting.
really cool pattern. I love it. Anyway,
Should we pour water on it? Is that what it's saying?
what, just on the body?
Probably not.
I think we should go and have a read of this bas relief.
Yeah, now let's go look at that thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it
I
might
want to know what it
explain
says.
the body before we
Let's
touch anything
go
else.
poke it.
Okay, so you're going to the one on the left.
Yeah, I feel like everything else has been in like Western reading order, hasn't it? Left to right.
You walk a little distance, 80 feet or so, to the left, and you are able to see there is a on the far side. There is a simple bas relief depicting the horned figure you have come to know as Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
Who is trying to think where he is in this one. Yeah. Who is once again amidst the buildings of Kabir Nagash, you can see that he, in the different in this sort of almost like cartoon-like image in which you see him in, like, walking through in 3 different positions in this street, is removing and holding up a clay brick in one. It may well be Kevin or one of Kevin's
backstory.
Kevin's siblings. And you see in another he is placing a hand on the brick, or rather in the process of moving his one hand away from the brick while the other he's holding it, and you can see like almost like a strand of something, several strands of something being pulled out, and in the third there is a sort of amorphous humanoid figure in front of him. Beneath the bas-relief there is what appears to be an oddly sort of translucent looking key set into the wall, like an old style sort of key with like a slightly fancy end, but it's you could be mistaken for thinking it was glass, but the edges aren't quite right. It's closer to when you've seen like I think you've seen things like shield spells and such appear before, or like that floating plane of force that you used to carry things once.
So, I'm sorry, where is that in relationship? My brain blitzed.
So the key is about waist, about hip height for you, below the bas-relief, just in the center.
On a...
just in the wall. So the key is actually set into a hole in the wall, like it's already stuck.
And where is the force fieldy bit?
The key itself looks like it's made from force in some
way. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think I had an ADHD blip, like, as you were saying that, and I'd put it in the wrong place in my brain. Got it, thank you.
No, the key, you could be mistaken for thinking the key was made of glass, but on closer inspection it seems to be made of magical force.
I want to try and touch it.
Yeah,
Shall I try and touch it?
Do it.
I'm going to do
Okay,
that.
Do it,
you
or
reach
I
out.
will.
Try it.
You grab hold of the key, and with a sort of soft ding, the key becomes illuminated from within by a pinkish light. And you fire and giving it and you can like, this is you just holding it. That's what's happened. Corzin, because you literally have eyes in the back of your head, you see on the far end, about 160 feet away, a speck of pink light appear below the other bas-relief.
Oh, we got something.
Go have a look, see what it is.
Over there.
Should we touch this bas-relief while we're here?
Oh yeah, now, well, I was going to keep holding this, but yeah, let's poke that too.
I'm going to poke it. Well, before we leave,
Yeah,
let's
go on.
do this one.
The voice speaks again. I returned once more to the hidden place where I learned so much about myself and my power. And I came to understand deeper the magic that flowed through me, the nature of undeath, and how it ties in a strange way to those resonances within me, to time and to memory. I saw and learned that strange as this force may seem, memory is the heart of it. It is as if there is something that wants to remember, but does not know how without guidance.
Hang on a minute. I turn to the Pride Spirit again. that time that we were helping that lady with her dream, you said to me that remembering was an us thing, right?
I think so, yeah.
You said you needed a shape to remember into.
Yeah, I did say that. Oh,
Yes.
well remembered.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
Yes.
But you said that spirits don't really do the remembering unless they have a bit of help.
Yeah. We're we need something to keep us, help us remember.
Yeah, I say this out loud as like a sort of translator so that everybody gets it.
Okay.
So is that what necromancy is doing? Putting them in the shape so they can remember?
To an extent, I
Of a
suppose.
fashion, I suppose, yeah.
But I suppose in that case, it's like a handprint isn't a hand. It's only part of something.
A memory of something.
Yeah.
I feel weird about the fact we use them as like soldiers and manual labour. Anyway,
Something occurs to me, actually. Scamp, do you remember when we were in the Forest of Meadmere and you got that armoured helmet?
my goat lord one.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you
Yeah.
telling me about that.
Yeah,
got
the,
it in
the
here
dickhead
somewhere.
fairies, that one.
I
Yeah.
think. Do I still have that one? I don't know. I've got a lot of crap in these bags.
You did not throw that away.
You definitely have that, but given how bulky the helmet is, it
might be on the
possible
boat.
you might have left that on the ship.
Or at the mansion.
Or at the mansion.
Yeah.
Okay. Genuinely, this would be an out of character question as much as an in character one. But like, is there any resemblance between that helmet and the armor depicted on the bas reliefs? We've been
Oh,
seeing?
not in the slightest. This is not the like
Right.
the helmeted like Black Knight figure does not have horns on their helmet actually.
Okay. I just thought we got this from fairies. It could have been around for a while.
No, good
Fair.
thought.
No, the horns on the Goat Lord helmet are actually patterned after patterned to closely resemble Scamp's goat-like horns.
Okay.
Because I am the goat lord.
Yes, literally. You really,
Yes.
really are.
No, it's a problem, innit? Right.
Do you think we've got to take this key to that light over there before we can go through that door?
I don't know. I feel weird about moving this key.
Why?
Maybe someone go and look and see. I don't know. Like, I worry that there's something over there that has to be matched up to something over here. So maybe if one goes and looks and sees what's there first, and
Alright,
if it's
well,
fine.
you keep your finger on that. I'll go and have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, what happens if I let go? Does it go out?
As soon as you let go, the key becomes transparent again. The pink light vanishes within it, and the pink light on the other side vanishes as well.
Yeah, Corzin, go have a look.
Yeah,
I'll go
I
have
think-
a poke at this
yeah.
one again. And then we can
Alright,
figure out what's
go
over
and have a
there.
look.
Okay, you put a hand on it, the light, it goes pink again, and the pink light appears on the other side. Corzin, you hustle over to the part, like giving the little body in the centre of this chamber a bit of a berth, and make your way over to the other bas-relief. So I'll describe what you can see there. This time, you see Dennis moving through the city, but in different sort of interior-looking locations, and you see him with a series of these bricks all gathered around. You see
God of Kevin.
Kevin, bride of Kevin, child of Kevin.
You see him with more of these amorphous figures, but with some of which seem to have greater or lesser degrees of detail to them. especially those that like one you see that has the most looking detail, like they're sort of almost like halfway to a person. You can just faintly see clearer outlines of like a tall, vaguely noble looking profile, and like the faintest hints of clothing. It looks more real than the others, and you even see like the brushes, though the bas relief has no colour to it, the brushes of hair like upon its head, and this one is holding one of the bricks at the same time that Dennis is.
Sorry, I've named them all Kevin.
I know. The last one, this one may well have been Kevin. The last of these sort of three images, though, you see Dennis has knelt before almost like a sort of bowl, and seems to be gathering strands of this of these sort of shadowy elements into it, and has a number of bricks sort of built up around this bowl in some sort of strange sort of ritual apparatus almost in its feeling. And below that you can see a little key which appears to be made of force, which I think at this moment is glowing with an inner pink light.
Okay, I'm going to try prodding that.
Your hand passes straight through it.
Oh. Well, that's weird.
What happened?
My hand went straight through it.
Hold on, what happens if I let go? I let
Scamp
go of
lets
my
go.
way.
Both of the keys, the pink light vanishes.
Then I will press my one without Scamp pressing
Okay,
theirs.
you put your hand on this key, and it lights up with a sort of like a burnt umber sort of color, like a brownie, like a sort of like a yellowy brown in a light.
Okay.
You are able
like
to hold it. You can hold it cleanly, like solidly in your fingers, and you see on Scamp's side the key lights up with that same sort of burnt umber color.
I'm going to have a look at the door in the middle and see if this
Yeah.
suddenly makes any sense.
See if it's got two keyholes.
Yeah, the door that we haven't looked at yet. I'm going to have a look.
I'm going to try and touch the key. Does my hand just go through
Your hand
it?
passes through it.
Yeah.
Celestia, jogging to the middle, you can see that indeed there is very faintly one half of a decorative sort of outline around this door that is just visible in a sort of flickering burnt umber sort of light, orangish sort of light. The patterns seem to be purely decorative, quite geometric in nature. In fact, I'm actually going to go so far as to say that they resemble the spiral writing from Kabir Nagash, but they don't but not necessarily in a way that can be read.
Okay. And are there... Did you say there are keyholes?
There are not keyholes. Half of the door that Corzin is on the near half of, is slightly has these patterns very slightly on them. The other half does not. That is dark. That half is dark.
Right. So Corzin is currently touching a key, yeah?
Yeah.
Corzin, put yours down and Scamp, pick yours up.
Okay.
Okay, I do so.
Okay. They go translucent, transparent again. Scamp, you're able to touch your key. Both keys light up with pink. So as this happens, Celestia, you see the illumination on the faint illumination on the right hand side vanish, and on the left hand side the corresponding half of the pattern appears in very faint pink light.
Right, there's a whole thing that's happening where when one of you's picking a key up, there are all these sort of pretty spirally rune thingies that light up on the same side of the door. No keyholes, though.
What happens if we try and touch them both at exactly the same time?
I was about to say that. Yes. All
We'll give it a
right.
try. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Touch him.
Grab.
I mean, I'll say that on the first attempt because of that.
Okay,
Corzin
after
gets it
3,
first.
not on 3. Right. 3, 2, 1. Touch the keys.
Okay, you both try and grab it. There's a moment where you swear, like, you see the light kind of flicker between pink and orange, and then both of your hands pass through, and it goes translucent.
I don't think that worked.
You need one person with really long arms.
Yes.
I have the same person touch them at the same time. Okay, what happens if you bring one of the keys to the other key?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, Scamp, you get hold of the key, assuming that you can. Yeah, you get hold of the key, and provided Corzin is not attempting to do so, you're able to touch it. You pull, it does not budge. But
Okay,
you
it doesn't
can't
wanna
you
move.
can't move it out of this keyhole.
Right.
Like, if you're just trying to pull it out, doesn't work. Nothing happens.
You tried turning it.
Sure.
Okay. You turn the key, and the light on your side becomes much brighter, and the faint sort of traceries of light on the left-hand side of the door become much clearer patterns on the left-hand side of the door of gleaming pink light.
I'm gonna touch it. Give it a push. Does it do anything?
Nope.
Okay, it's not doing anything. But Corzin, try turning yours.
Okay, I do so.
Your hand passes through it.
I can't.
Scamp, stop touching
My hand's
yours.
just going through.
Yeah, what happens when I let go?
When you let go, the light goes out, and the key immediately flips back to the closed position.
This is really annoying, and I don't understand. Help.
How far away was Corzin's one?
Corzin, you are 160 feet away, below the. You're the only one who's actually seen this the bas relief on this side thus far, as well.
Okay.
Corzin, touch the bas relief. See if it says anything helpful.
Yeah, I will do so.
As you touch it once again, and you can all faintly hear the voice, but Corzin, you can hear it most clearly because it does echo down the hall a bit.
So we haven't touched it, have we? We just
No,
looked
you
at
haven't touched
Yeah.
it. I spent. I cannot. It is hard to say how long, with the way I began to move through time, learning more, seeking more, as I realized the truths that place held. I learned that while the handprint is not a hand, there are ways to bring something like a hand back from the memory of that print. At the culmination of skill, could you create something, a replica so perfect you could not distinguish it from the original? It is there that I worked upon my greatest work and my most terrible, regrettable work. But it is fortunate that I did not have to bear these burdens alone.
Alright, I get the impression that this place is predicated on the idea that whoever's coming through here can't get through here alone.
I mean, maybe.
It would.
Does it need to be the same person touching things, or does it need to be two of the same person touching the thing? Sort of.
I mean, there's been no consistency about this since we arrived here, but in all seriousness, if you needed two versions of the same person? How rare is that?
I mean, none of us can
Magic.
do that, can we? We can do an illusion, but we can do a really good illusion, actually.
Somehow I don't think... I mean, not that we have any twins here, but I don't think that'd cut it either.
I could try doing an illusion of one of you. Because technically that
Victory.
would be... I looked at the prize spirit. Technically that'd be you, wouldn't it?
I mean...
Kind of.
Yeah, but, like, I'm still me
Yeah.
when I'm doing that. I just sort of, like, shift around the outside of me.
But also, if the point is you can't do it alone, then wouldn't it make more sense for it to have to be like a few people?
Yeah.
Scamp, stay there. Victory, come and try this one.
Victory.
Just an idea.
Just in case it's two sorcerers, that's not a bad shout,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
She jogs over.
I was wondering.
Jogs over, kind of gives the body in the centre a wide berth, and then goes to the end. She touches the key. This time it floods with a blue light.
Hey, look, it's our colours. It's not the set colours.
That's weird.
Celestia,
Right.
you touch this one.
I touch it.
Purple!
Oh, that is my
Hey.
colour.
I mean, technically your hand passes through,
Jeffrey.
then Victory lets go, and Jeffrey touches it. She runs up. Fucking hell. Right. Silver light!
Yeah, friend. Because it's Jeffrey and friend. Oh.
Marjorie, as a cockroach, starts, like, slowly, like, climbing up. Touches it. There's briefly like a flick of golden light as she stands on, as she like perches
Marjorie, you're beautiful.
on the thing.
I have a thought. Turn to the pride spirit again. Sometimes, if I want to do like 2 dream spells or something, you sort of split into 2 for a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you just do that generally? Because you touch both of those keys at the same time. If not, don't worry.
Don't know. Genuinely, do you have an ability or spell in mind that does something similar-ish to what you're proposing?
The only thing I can think of is doing a major image of the rainbow spirit and then sending the actual rainbow spirit to the other end of the room. But I don't know if that would work because the pride spirit is powering the illusion. And major image can't be that big.
Can it physically interact with anything?
The Rainbow Spirit, as a general rule, unless it's through a spell.
I know.
can't.
Could you try the key, darling? Just out of interest.
The Rainbow Spirit.
I doubt it, but you never know.
It's a sort of like echoey sort of version of Celestia. Kind of reaches out and tries to get the key, but sort of
Nothing.
just passes. The hand passes through it. Like, sorry, physical things are more your.
Well, that's fair enough, darling. I just thought it was worth trying.
Sometimes I can like do 2 things at once when usually it'd be the one.
That's true.
But none of them are like grabbing a key. I could try it. I've got one that's like a creepy hand.
I can give it a try.
But it doesn't really do any like key turning. It's more, hurts people.
What is the range on your creepy hand?
240 feet. It's chill touch.
I'm
It makes this ghostly skeletal hand.
okay.
I
I'm
can physically interact.
all right.
Do you think it's worth trying? Because I mean, I can do the thing
mean,
as many times as
why
I like, but if I
not?
want to do twice at once, it's a bit more of effort.
I have a question.
Yeah, we've lost nothing for trying.
When you conjure the chill hand, does the ghostly hand just appear at the location, or does it like fly out from your position?
You create a ghost skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. So, I don't know how it will work against that thing, but you make it in the place.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I guess it's a cantrip, so you can just do that.
But if I'm twinning it, it's going to cost me sorcery points.
Right, so you're trying to use it to the ghostly hand in both occasions.
Yeah. Actually, it's only one sorcery point. I might as well try.
Give it a
If
go.
it doesn't work, then we know.
Yeah.
Okay. You, I will say then that you cast the spell, reaching out with both your hands, and there's a sort of flutter of magic down the room, and you twist. And you twist.
It's just necrotic damage.
You try and twist
because
both keys.
It's not a real. Yeah, it's
the
not.
The ghostly
made.
hands pass through, but can I ask you to roll 2d100s, please?
Ow, balls!
Oh.
We've got 67 and 44.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, fucking hell. There, you have a choice between shaking and explosion.
What lovely choices.
Fucking hell. Do either of them feel like they're going to be particularly harmful? I mean, that sounds ridiculous. One of them's explosion.
One
we're talking confetti, or
one affects the environment and one affects a creature. I will say that the explosion is going to relate to a creature, and the shaking is going to relate to the environment.
Oh, fuck. Both of these sound awful. Am I going to get to choose the creature, or does this feel randomised?
Technically, it's you do not get to choose the creature. No.
Oh wow.
Well, fuck. You know what this room full of real creepy stuff needs? An earthquake.
Yeah, that's what it needs.
I've got to say, all you get the sense is of everything of a certain type will explode.
Fuck.
Oh no.
Well, that certainly sets a person to wondering, doesn't it?
Yep.
Do these both feel incredibly harmful? Because from what I'm hearing, it sounds awful.
We could just end the campaign. What do you think?
One is going to be harmful to something, for certain.
But there's really only friends and a dead body here.
And the other is there's going to be some degree of shaking going on in the environment.
Well, I guess we're doing that because I don't want to explode my friends.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what the other option was, by the way, which was that all insects in range explode. So it would be Marjorie. Marjorie would have exploded.
Just Marjorie.
That would have been fine. Scamp would have been really sad, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is awful.
Instead, however, as you try and fail to cast this, you cast the spell successfully, but the effect fails. A pulse of energy of magic erupts out from you, and the room momentarily shakes and rumbles violently. You take a moment to steady yourselves. Apart from a little bit of rock dust falling here and there. There's not too the roof doesn't come in, the walls don't collapse. The bas reliefs shake a little bit. The biggest casualty is that the sudden lurching is enough to knock the body
Whoops.
Slightly ajar.
That is not a phrase that feels like it should apply to a body.
Yeah, enough
Oh, no.
that one arm falls over the edge of the beer out from under the white sheet.
I'm sorry.
I have a question. Who is in what? So I need to know exactly where you all are around the room. Last I checked, Scamp was by the left-hand key. And I think Corzin was by the right-hand key.
I was in the middle looking at the door, so probably near the body.
Yep, and Victory gone over to there. Okay, so Celestia, you are from your position by the door. You see and the rumbling happens. An arm falls out from under the sheet, enough that the shrouds, enough that you can see exposed what appears to be a slender, charcoal grey skinned hand.
Huh.
What is it?
Either this body is a drow, or it's just really old. What does it look like? Those two things.
It does not indeed appear to be like withered and husky grey.
But that's like my skin
but
colour,
yeah,
right?
it's pretty much it's
wanna see.
very close
I
to
wanna come see.
your skin colour. Okay, so Celestia, how close are you to the body right now?
Quite near because I'm looking, and I'm having a thought.
Probably about 5 feet away.
Hang on, folks.
Scamp, how close do you get?
I want to say something.
I want to come. I mean, my plan is to run up to Celestia, but they've probably got time
Celestia,
to say a thing
you have
before I
time to
get
say a
there.
thing.
We have 2 drow in the room. Would that do it?
That's the
Probably.
point.
Let's have a
Gross.
Okay, Scamp, as you get closer, you come over and take a look. You can see that
Mind you, we also have 2 tieflings. Maybe that doesn't work.
So Scamp, you're the first one to get there. You can see that the hand does appear to be quite drow-like. It's not quite the same. Now that you look at it, it's not quite the same skin texture as Celestia's, though. This hand has a slight, it's greyish, but there's a slightly more rosyish cast to it. Corzin, I'll say you get there next.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see this as well. Like you don't know where Celestia got the idea. Like as you get up as close as the others, you can see it. You don't know where Celestia got the idea of this. Like you can kind of see how she might have mistaken it for a drow hand, but because there is a bit of greyness to it, but it's actually fairly weathered looking. It's kind of got a ruddy. Healthy skin tone to it, but there's tan to it as well.
Is this like a recognisable part of the process of necrosis?
No.
Does it look like Corzin's hand?
It's not quite like Corzin's hand.
Does it look like if you put all our hands in a blender and then made them into a hand again?
Or does it look different to all 3 of us? Like to Scamp, does it look like Scamp's hand? To me, does it look like my hand?
No, because you've been as you look down and look again, you see that it's shifted slightly.
So it's a combination of all the people near
now it's and indeed as Victory gets up close and peers, it acquires a slightly more purplish tinge to it.
Okay, that skin has changed every time somebody has gone near it, or I'm going insane. One of those 2 things.
Okay, so it's a bit of everyone who's nearby.
That's weird.
Okay, how can we make that useful then?
Well, I could animate the body and make it go touch another key, and then you got 2 of the same thing touching a key.
Okay, what if you animate the body, give it a little wander down to one end of the room. We all leave it with you, so it takes on your hand, so we're at the other end of the room. And then you bamf to our end. Would it then keep
can
your hand?
No idea. Let's find out. This is a lot of magic.
Yes, yes, it is. I don't know if that makes any sense, so please correct me if anybody has any better ideas.
No, I'm trying to think.
And we better unwrap it first.
Yeah, gross.
Okay.
Not completely.
Necessarily.
Not completely. That's
So, Corzin,
Yep.
you reach out and
give it a little touchy touch.
and go to remove the wrapping.
At least the bit that's obstructing it. Yeah.
Cool. Can I ask you for a dexterity check, please?
Dexterity check.
Yes.
Okay. 21.
Okay, you deftly pick up the wrapping without touching the body at all, and pull it aside. And indeed, you can see it's a strange-looking figure, on clearly dead, but looking as if they had died perhaps moments ago. But strangely, like, apart from the one hand that's like slumped out to one side, looking as if they've died peacefully with no apparent injury. They have feet which are largely humanoid, but there's some strangely like there's something about the arch of them and the way that they're shifted, like have a slightly goatish look to them. That's kind
Like if they were human, they'd have like a massive problem with their hamstrings.
yeah,
Because their heels are all weird.
yeah, like it's
Is
like
there
them.
are there any Jeffrey features?
Jeffrey is keeping the fuck away from this bullshit. Jeffrey is keeping the fuck away. He knows when shit is too weird for Jeffrey, and this is one of those times. But yeah, the feet, the bare feet. This figure of like.
Sorry, no, I'm imagining bare feet.
Does have like there's something strange about the foot that like has vaguely like goatish elements to it, but it is recognizably as somewhat admittedly slightly deformed looking human foot. You can see below the shroud that they're dressed in, because like you pull away the like covering over them, and they're wearing like sort of white, almost like white bandages around the most of their body. But you can see that their hands and feet are exposed, as is their face. And you see a figure that is probably around about 5 feet, with curiously mixed textured hands, and small goat horns, with hair that is a strange sort of. If you took Corzin's hair texture, I would say, and you made it a mixture of black and white with like strange rainbowy edges.
Oh, cool.
The eyes are closed, so you can't see you can't make out what the eyes are like, but it's like the weirdest morph photo between the 4 of your faces.
Oh, it's like the 4 of us made a child and then it got old and died.
Oh, let's never do that.
No.
This is awful.
Its hair's
Really?
fucking cool though. Can we take a second?
Oh no, I do like. Yeah, no. Do you think if I touched it, it would maybe just like settle on who it wants to be?
Yeah, I do. I've been thinking that for a while. I just really don't want to touch it, so I've been pretending it isn't a
I'm gonna
thing.
touch its hand.
Touch
just, like,
it. Fuck it.
Fingertips.
Okay, as you touch the body's hands, something passes through it, and the whole body begins to shift in place. You see it shrink down slightly, grow grow a little thinner. Actually, what height are you these days, Scamp?
What am I?
You're still 4 foot something, aren't you?
You got little.
No, I got bigger.
You
I
got
got
bigger.
bigger. I got bigger and littler, but then I've like
Weren't you,
growing. So I think I'm
5'6" or something.
yeah.
Am I making that up?
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Okay.
Because if the body is 5 foot and it's like the average of all of our heights.
Yeah, because it's been counteracted heavily. It's been heavily swayed by Corzin.
Yeah.
So in which case it actually grows a little taller, but weirdly a little thinner as well. The feet, like the legs, transform to match Scamp's goat hooves. The feet, the face and features shift as well. Scamp, you okay? Actually, no. While this is happening, Corzin, Corzin and Celestia, you see and Scamp, you do not see any of this. I'm actually going to for a moment just hold what you know in this instant and don't go further. But Corzin and Celestia, you see the shadowy morass above begin to twist together, almost like into a slow funnel or tornado, and then begin to pour down into the body, as in like a stream. And above it, you can see like an echoing humanoid shape begin to form, matching itself to the outline of Scamp, of the Scamp-like body below, and then gaining sharper and clearer features, clearer and clearer, until it is almost, or indeed, as far as you can tell, apart from the fact that it's entirely monochrome, a perfect replica of the Scamp body below, in a way that Corzin is both deeply familiar and deeply unsettling to you personally.
Yeah.
And then the shadow settles into the body. Scamp, you touch your hand, you touch the body's hand, and your eyes spring open, and you feel fresh, clean air flood into your lungs. You look up and you can see gathered around you and staring down at you are Corzin, Celestia, Victory, and what appears to be someone that looks exactly like you.
Oh no.
Says the body.
What?
Scamp.
Have I swapped?
Scamp. You see the body, like, you don't see any of the shadow stuff, but you do see, a moment after you touch it, the body draws in a breath, opens their eyes and says, "Oh no, have I swapped?"
No, I'm still me. Wait. What?
This is freaking me out, if I'm honest.
Scamp, table Scamp, what do you do?
Oh. Sit up for a start. Oh.
Yeah,
Jump backwards a
you
little
pick
bit.
yourself up and sit up. You see Celestia, like, recoil for a moment.
Just,
Are we both me, or is one of us like a fake thing?
Asks the clearly fake, you assume. Kind of hard to tell. But certainly the Scamp that from Celestia and Corzin's side you just saw get filled by shadow.
Yeah, I think you're made of the shadow stuff on the ceiling, darling.
What? But I remember all the how? What? No.
Oh, they said things could be made to be almost the same as the original if you gave them
Although,
a
can I
shape
do
to
magic?
remember.
I'm gonna try and do an illusion.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
minor
just a
illusion.
Minor illusion. What illusion do you try to create?
I'm gonna try and make a Jeffrey.
Okay. You gesture with your
It's
hands.
50-50 Jeffrey or a bum, wasn't it, really?
And
Well, I didn't. That was the first thing that came to my mind, but then it was just this disembodied bum, and it was
that's weird.
You're telling me you wouldn't?
Maybe it's the second
I was
thing.
gonna, and then I was like, if it goes weird, I guess something goes weird with the magic.
Yeah.
I'd rather it was Jeffrey than a bum.
Scamp, you see your doppelganger gesture, and an image of Jeffrey appears in front of them. A static image, such as you recognise. Celestia and Corzin, you see Scamp's doppelganger gesture. They don't quite look the same to your sight as Scamp. They do look uncomfortably similar. There is a strange realness to them.
Okay.
But it's a little bit more like when you saw... It's a little bit more like how Poppy looked when he was still in corporeal form.
Okay.
Is probably a better answer.
What? Could you remind me?
Which is akin to Scamp, strangely real looking to Spirit Sight.
Yeah.
Strangely pronounced, but in a in a difficult to quantify, slightly different flavour to Scamp.
Feels a bit
Victory
different.
is. And you do notice
Semi-skimmed.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
shadowy wisps emerge from their hands when they cast the spell to create the illusion.
Oh,
Okay.
You're doing it with the shadow stuff. It's weird.
I mean, Scamp, it feels entirely natural to you. It doesn't really
feel
feel
like
that different to
shadow.
normal magic.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at them both, like, the mental image I have here is that Scamp is obviously bright coloured, and the other Scamp is as bright coloured, but it's like the colour correction or the colour balance is slightly different
Yeah,
for both.
that's how you're seeing it. That's how you're seeing it.
But
with,
like only if you've got Spirit Sight.
with
yeah.
Spirit Sight.
Yeah.
If anything, yeah, the like.
Like just fuck with the levels just a little bit.
Yeah,
So it's still technically the same colours, but like not quite.
But Shadow
Yeah.
Shadow Scamp has slightly higher values, so all of their shadow, like the shadow bits, are slightly more pronounced. They've got slightly dark, same hues but darker color in bits. Like but yeah, that's what they look like to you. And obviously, it's fortunately very easy to tell the difference between the two apart because regular Scamp is in regular Scamp's regular clothing, and Shadow Scamp is in kind of like, you know, pharaoh mummy wear, latest fashion from Alicent to wraps and
Right, okay.
bandages.
Is that what I sound like?
So that can...
Is that what I actually sound like? Because that's not my voice, is it?
Yeah, it is, darling.
Sounds
I
about
don't
right to
like
me.
it.
Oh, it's always like that.
You feel vaguely offended by your.
And I swear I'm taller than that.
No.
Wait a minute. I turn to the Scamp next to me and say, say, hold up some fingers behind your back. Don't tell anyone what it is. and how
Okay.
many. Then I turn to the Scamp on the beer. Do you know how many fingers they're holding up?
Right. Now, here's a genuine question. Is Scamp the sort of person who instinctively would always pick the same thing?
Ooh, good question.
Robbie just wants to put a middle finger up every time.
I was just thinking Celestia would put a middle finger up every time, but I don't.
But I don't think Scamp would.
Yeah. In which...
Yeah, probably not. They'd probably change it.
In which case, can I... Right. I'm going to ask you to make a guess. Actually, I'm going to ask you to make a guess, and then I'm going to ask you to roll a d6.
That's fun.
I think they've got 3.
Roll a d6.
6.
Corzin, you look behind your the other shadow scamp's back. They've got all of the fingers on one hand and a thumb on the other hand up behind their back.
Okay. Well, you don't share a brain. That's the thing I was trying to test for.
I don't know if that's comforting or not comforting.
Between two.
Should we try these keys?
Yeah, let's go get the... What happens when this is done? Does one of us... Do you just stop being?
I was really hoping we could get the keys before we thought about that, if I'm honest.
So, Scamp, you're suddenly faced with with a real existential question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was nakedly trying to just get us to do something before I had these thoughts. Whoops. Fuck.
But like, I was... Like, the last thing I remember before being in these funny clothes was, like, being you. Right?
Reaching out.
Yeah, and doing the touching and being me. So we're the same one. It's not like I was... So maybe when it's undone, we'll just have 2 sets of memories for this bit.
Maybe.
Well, I don't think so.
Because
I
both
think
of us have the same memory.
Yeah, but you're made of shadows, and you're not.
Rude.
It's true. It just is what it is, and the shadows are probably going to end up going back to the ceiling rather than going into our Scamp.
Right.
So I don't think
being a ceiling monster.
Yeah, I don't think that.
But I don't remember being a ceiling monster.
That's because you didn't have a shape to remember into. This is the shape that you're remembering into.
So all of the other shapes that I've had, don't remember those.
Yeah, spirits apparently don't do memory so much.
Huh. Maybe that's better.
Like I was saying, bricks versus a house.
Because all of the stuff before now that I remember, that's still in that one.
Yeah.
What's made of meat bits. Gross, I know. So it's not like they're going away. I'm not going away.
No.
Because it's still over there in Meet Me. Meet Me. No, never mind. Which makes my immediate thought now is like, right, well then there's no consequences to anything I do. That's not a good thought, is it?
No, maybe we should have picked literally anyone else to do this.
No, because can you imagine if you'd had that thought right now?
Oh, I'd have to do a duet. That'd be my reaction.
Oh yeah, no, you totally would. Well,
Yeah.
that is the most child-friendly reaction I think you'd have.
Yeah, but like there are other people here.
A duet, is that what we're calling it now?
Yes. If there weren't other people here, we'd do all kinds of duets, I can assure you. But there are other people here.
Exactly
And some of them are
the
children.
right person for this. Because I have no interest in duetting with anyone.
Fair enough.
Colin,
If this is something that
How does it always come back to this conversation?
For context of the people listening, we once spent, hours at a LARP, just asking every single passerby if they met an identical clone of themselves, would they fuck them? And somehow we've ended up back here.
Surprisingly, a large amount would.
I think we got like one no all evening.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were ace, so fair enough.
Oh no, we got two
Existential
no's.
crises.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a classic big chip difference is are they are they a time clone? Am I going to do this again later? Is the classic and various variations. However, on that note, Victory does point out this is particularly weird, given that presumably a lot of most sorcerers come in and do this by themselves.
Well, this was my thought, right? Like, how would, or why would there be a place that needed 2 people when the expectation is there's only going to be 1 person?
Well, you make one of them be a creepy dead body, and then you've got 2, haven't you?
Hey, rude.
Well,
Sorry.
we didn't know that when we came in here.
I totally want to hug myself right now. Should we do that? Yeah, let's do that. I just want to know what it's like to hug myself.
Aww.
You give yourself a pretty decent hug.
Aw, you hug good. I know, right?
Aww. So wholesome.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a brief moment of of having to, tangle with someone with the same, someone else with similar horns in a way that you're not familiar with. I don't know how much hugging did Scamp Victory do in the month.
Like a surprising amount.
In which case, yeah, it's pretty similar to hugging Victory, but you've just got to adjust because you've got slightly different horns.
And also exactly the same height, which I feel would make it harder.
Nah, I'm definitely taller. Oh,
Well, now you know you're a good hugger, so...
I'm glad of that. That is good information to have. I guess we go do the thing.
Scamp, do you go left or right?
They both go left.
For fuck's sake.
All right, now I'll go over there, I guess, then. Yeah.
It's a slightly awkward thing when you're trying to walk past someone in the street, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both trying.
Okay. You both walk off to the other side of the room. Scamp, you reach out and touch the key. It glows in a pink light. Scamp, you reach out and you find that you can indeed touch the key, which is glowing with an inner pink light.
We'll both turn the keys.
Okay, the keys click together, more or less in time, and the door flares fully with the pink light in a pattern before the light fades and the door slides into the ground with remarkably little sound, actually, like a soft sort of rather than the heavy grinding you might have expected. Behind it, you see an empty chair upon which there is placed another sort of amulet with a third of an amulet, like sort of chain with a third of an amulet on it. And behind it, you can see a bas relief. Celestia and Corzin, you don't see anything else. No, you don't see anything else in here.
How's Shadow Scamp doing?
Scamp, you feel surprisingly intact and together.
Okay, and there's still
A
two of
message
us.
to Corzin. Corzin, I have this terrible feeling that our new friend Shadow Scamp might have to sit in the chair and put the amulet on, but I'm afraid to say it because it makes me sound like a terrible person. Help? Help me.
He nods in acknowledgement.
Scamp, you letting go of the keys, they stay turned, though the pink light does fade.
We're gonna walk and have a look through the door.
Okay.
See the things.
You see the empty throne with the with the amulet portion on it, and behind it, you see a bas relief of 2 figures kneeling around the same sort of bowl placed over the various aligned bricks. One of them is the image of Dennis that you've come to know and love, this travelling horned figure with this travelling horned figure with looking a little older, but still with a kind of like a hopeful sort of look to them. The other you can see in armour, kneeling the other side, has the same physical features as Dennis, but looks tired. You can see scratches and marks of battle upon him, and you notice, and you can see that there are the filed down stumps of horns just under touzled hair. They look like twins who've led different lives. But the pair of them seem to be working together around what appears to be a bowl of small spherical objects.
Huh. So do we touch the thing, or do we need to do something else first? What do we
It might
think?
be worth touching it for information.
Yeah, let's do what we
that's
do that.
my feeling on it.
Okay, who wants to touch the bas-relief?
I'll do it.
Corzin, you step forward and touch the bas-relief, and the voice speaks again. Two great achievements did I manage in that life, in the hopes of managing a third. One beautiful, one terrible. For within that place I learned the secret of how to pour water into a vessel and make it be as the vessel itself. I found my brother, my second self, my greatest companion, and together we forged a weapon of terrible destruction. A weapon that, without me to keep it in check, once it spread, was made to end cities, but could end the world. I did not tread this path lightly. I warn you to take care with the powers that you may hold. For any one of us could end the world as we know it. But with these eggs, I had a weapon that would force the boyars to listen.
Right. Shadows. Shadow eggs.
I was afraid of this.
OC. For a moment. Did we ever find out who made them?
Yes.
Because my brain is saying, was it Alderai Blackheart?
It was indeed.
Cool.
Yes.
I didn't know if I'd plucked that from nowhere because it was so long ago. Okay, I'm going to actually say that in character then. This is Alderai Blackheart, isn't it?
No, it's Dennis.
It's Dennis.
I was beginning to wonder.
Also known as Alderai Blackheart in other people's
What?
brains.
Sorry, Blackheart's real name was Dennis?
Alderai Dennis Blackheart, yeah.
Canon.
Alderai D. Blackheart.
Yeah. Dennis, who made the weapons of mass destruction. Yep, that's that one. Yep. Dennis the Destroyer, if you will. But yeah, this is Alderai, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did people didn't know he was a tiefling, did they?
You've never heard it referenced.
He's not a tiefling in any of the stories, is he?
I don't think it's mentioned.
That
Well, I
I
mean-
know of.
Guess that makes sense with the. I point at the filed down horns,
Yeah.
and
What
it makes
was this
sense that he'd
about
keep it a
guarding
secret.
the thing.
Guarding the.
It's that only he could guard it or keep it or something. Do you think? How many times could you keep making a new one of yourself to be? Do you think he's still out there?
I don't
Like
know.
the same person?
I mean, we've seen Sorcerer Echoes before.
Yeah, but if he can pour himself into a new one over and over again, could it still be the same one somewhere?
Disturbing implication. But no, didn't he, die quite notably and publicly?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean a great deal, does it?
Not really, and we don't know what it looks like when one of these copies dies. Maybe he'd only notice anything weird if he was sighted, and frankly, most people aren't.
You make a good point.
Well, I mean, the fact that we
I
have
just-
two in a party is quite weird, really.
Yeah.
I just wonder what's beyond that door. What is only death beyond?
Didn't we find out at time because I looked at it in the eye?
You saw.
We saw what came
you
out.
never saw what was beyond it. You saw some things come out.
And it was a lot of shadowy shit.
You
wasn't
saw a
it?
lot of shadowy shit.
Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of shadows came out.
Yeah, but
Maybe-
what else is in there?
Maybe.
I just wonder if he's still there.
Ooh. What a horrible thought.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad there's two of us thinking it, at least.
3 if you count your other self.
Oh, I was counting those two, don't worry. Well, this is awful. And it makes so many more questions than it does answers. I'm guessing someone's got to sit in this here chair. And it's kind of got to be me, doesn't it? Otherwise...
Oh God, I'm
what's
so
the
glad
point
that
in
you
this?
said that. I didn't know how to
Oh, yeah,
suggest
no,
it
I
without
totally
being
like-
a total cunt.
Look,
yeah.
I was a dead body a moment ago, and every other chair's had a dead person in it, so, you know...
Yeah.
It's not a big old leap, is it?
Oh. Yep. Also, we should probably pick up that bit of amulet. I'll pick it up.
You pick up the bit of amulet. You now have 3 pieces of amulet. They look like they would neatly
Right.
slot together.
Well, I've got the other 2. Shall I stick them together?
Let's put them together, yeah.
Okay. You slot the 3 pieces of amulet together. They form. It's slightly like the three chains. You kind of like loop with like you can kind of hold them together, but the slotted pieces of black onyx connect as one, and you feel a sort of cool thrumming pass through the amulet now that is as you hold it in your hand.
I'm going to pass it to myself.
Okay, you pass it to yourself. Which self takes it?
The one that the shadow one, because
Cool,
the
yeah.
other one, the original one was the one that was holding the other pieces.
Got it. So Shadow Scamp, you are now holding.
I'm going to put it on.
Okay, you place on the amulet. You feel it pulsing. You kind of feel it
Oh,
pulsing
feels
like your
weird.
heartbeat.
Can I feel my own heartbeat?
I mean, if you put your hand to your neck.
Yeah.
Oh, so. Can you feel your own heartbeat? Yes.
Okay.
You're not.
Good rep.
You're, yeah, you're a little cooler than you're used to being. but not cold.
Okay. I don't feel quite right. Not because of this, just like...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold my own hand.
You hold your hand,
Right.
squeeze it a little.
You get a shoulder squeeze off Celestia as well if they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay. With the pair of, with your hands being squeezed, you step up and take a seat.
Okay.
On,
Do this thing then, I guess.
Yeah. You take a seat.
It's
on the
nice to
throne.
be you.
As you make contact with the throne, you feel the power sort of surging, pulse from the amulet and surge through you and the throne. And again, that pulse, you feel like your heart, you can feel your heart beating in your ears, like with the pulse of the magic. You can feel for a moment Celestia and your other selves pulse in their hands, and their pulses grow slower and slower, and they seem to grow slower and slower, and within 20-30 seconds it's as if they're statues. Scamp, what? You are the only one who seems to not be a statue. You're sat on the throne. What do you do?
Oh, bugger.
Hmm.
Oh no.
You feel your
But
heart.
everyone else.
Yep. The magic in the amulet pulses at a steady rate, like your own heartbeat.
Am I still like holding hands with myself?
Yes. You feel like they're like you're giving them a light squeeze. You can feel, but yourself's hand is like frozen in position.
Can I just test for a pulse?
You've been feeling the pulses through their palms,
Yeah.
and you.
Is it there at all right now?
But yeah, if you want to just like check their hand,
Yeah.
against their fingers, how long are you willing to wait?
Minute? Because of the time dilation and the last thing?
Yep. Okay. After a minute, it's hard to tell. Maybe there's been a slight shift under your fingers, like if you got them pressed right against their wrist.
Okay. I've got this feeling I might have to go and see the knight in the main bit. I'm gonna just... You stay here, okay? Right.
I'm gonna get
Carefully
up
extract
and
your
wander back.
hands. Yep. Yeah, as you stand up and move away from this
And resist the
throne.
the urge to draw on everyone's faces.
Ah.
Reposition people. No.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna be well
literally,
behaved.
no one can stop you right now.
Except my conscience.
You step out into the still long hallway, and past it. Again, everything is kind of already still and quiet. It was still and quiet before, so it's strange. It almost feels very little different compared to what it was, apart from the fact that you know all your companions are frozen. But as you step out into the hallway, you can see there is a figure stood in front of the far door. And you can see the gentle rise and fall of his chest under the armour. He tilts his head and inclines
Hello, Dennis.
it. The Black Knight moves forwards to meet you. And a slightly muffled voice calls, "Why are you calling me Dennis?"
Is that not your name? That's what everyone thinks your name is now.
There is a hollow sort of chuckle from beneath the visor. Well, this would normally be the part where the challenge happens, but he shifts a little and reaches up and pulls off the helmet. And you see a man in his 50s, maybe mid-50s, with pale skin worn by filled with care lines, dark sort of brownish, very dark brown hair, and just under the tousled hair you can see, because you know to look for it, the markings of filed down horns. His eye, you see he for a moment, initially while he's speaking to you, he carries on a habit that you know to look for, which is to blink once a minute. But appearing to have otherwise brown human looking eyes. I was going to say, this place doesn't have a lot in the way of furniture, but he does gesture to the side of the sort of chapel nave, where there is a little bit of raised stone that the pair of you can sort of perch upon. As I am now, as I knew myself, Alderai. And you?
Scamp.
Well, Scamp, you have a choice to make.
Oh dear.
He licks his lips, a little uncertain, a little uncomfortably. Specifically, you need to choose whether you desire to live.
Huh.
You see, not every sorcerer, in fact, more than than I think you would like to acknowledge, copes well with that test. Many of them do not react well to the idea of not being the only them.
What? There's two of them, and they have a grump over that.
Grump is putting it lightly. Often, once the door is open, I only see one come through.
Oh.
Not every time. Sometimes we have this chat. Ordinarily, it is the other one who puts the amulet on. But once in a while, we have this chat instead. So,
Well,
you have a choice. You have helped yourself gather together the pieces of the amulet. I actually have to say, I need to ask you this because the order in which you did this is interesting to me.
well,
If you had gone into the middle room after the room on the right, after you had come into being, and there were two of you, which of you would have gone into the room? The one where you painted all those very well put together pieces of art.
if we both had the chance to go in that bit.
Or if either of you had.
Yeah. Well, it would have made sense to only send one, wouldn't it?
So,
So who would
who
have gone?
would you have sent in?
Well, it makes sense for it to be me, not me, in case something made weird, because that one's all made of meat stuff and I've got all shadow in me. But what if it didn't work for me? What if it needed to be the other one to learn the thing? Or do a thing?
I think perhaps you are the right type of person to have received this gift. Others would have forced you, as it were, to go in. Seeing you as
I
expendable.
like having two of me. It's quite nice. You know, I didn't know what a tiefling was when I was little. I thought I was the only one in the world, so having two exactly like me,
Ah, child.
kind of like it. You know?
He reaches out in a sort of like, kind of in the style of like an elderly, not quite a grandfather, but more like an older uncle, and raises a hand like near and just like over your head as if asking whether he can ruffle your hair.
I'm gonna just lift my head slightly to meet the hand.
It gives it a sort of affectionate ruffle. Ah, child. I tried. And as the rest of my... He gestures to the last few bas reliefs. Tale recounts. I made some progress. At cost, but some. I'm sorry that it is always an uphill battle. And I'm sorry that it never gets finished in one generation. I never got to see the world where we could walk with our heads held high. But if I am to believe the people who come through on occasion, especially the ones who came through the seer's sanctum when on the occasions that has come before mine, that can happen. And I have always believed such a future could exist.
We're getting there. Like, obviously not immediately, but you know. Baby steps.
I do what I can still. gives you a level look to help.
You still out there then?
I don't spend all my time here. But keep that one between you and me.
You're really interesting. I'm not you, am I?
No.
Just checking. Because you're... Is there another you, or is it still you?
He sighs. We're going to get to that in a moment.
Okay.
You are not me.
No.
I do not recognize you. You're, I believe from what I've heard, sister?
Yeah.
I think she is...
you must have heard a lot of stuff.
I think she might be an old friend of mine.
Okay, which one? Or is that spoilers?
The storm. The ocean. I feel like
Oh.
there is something to her nature that that reminds me of what is the formal name? Oceanos, the sea. Though I would have known her in a different form and a different time.
Huh.
But she has strong passions, a quicker temper than she lets on, and she judges people more quickly than she lets on as well. That very much reminds me of my friend. She could be.
Well, that would fit. And I think she'd like that.
A choice.
Yeah. What is the choice?
To live or not. You are in some ways stronger, in some ways weaker than the you that was born before this place. I suppose you could say you're original.
But I've got all the same memories up to a point.
You have. However, outside of this place and a very small number of others, you are fragile. You could last indefinitely. But when you are injured, your form, you cannot heal without having a place such as this that is able to restore the form that is making you you.
Okay.
You need not ever age. The body you wear is not built for it. You will grow and learn and change, but you will always wear the form you wear now. Unless you change it through magic, but that is a separate matter.
Huh.
So,
What happens to the other one?
well, they will... Provided... they will meet my challenge. Or you may, in their stead. And that is your choice. And then they will carry on their way. And if you live, eventually you can carry on your way too. But if you choose to live, I will invite you to remain with me for a time and to learn about what it is to be you. How you are different and similar. What you need to be wary of.
What's the alternative? What's the not living? Is it just ceasing to be, or is it... What is it?
I am afraid, yes. If you think it is the better choice, if you think that another of you in the world would be an impediment to the one who was born into it, or that there is not enough space for you to live the same life, or to live different lives, if you think that would cause you, either of you, pain or grief, then I offer to unmake you. It is without pain. This vessel will cease, and you will return to being what we are when we have no form.
And this challenge, one of us has to face it.
One of you must.
And if it's not me, is it just the other me, or is it all of them?
It may be all of them.
Do I get to know what the challenge is?
I will say this. There is a risk that you will be destroyed. And if you are unmade, then, unlike your original, you cannot be brought back. A new you could be created from your original, but it will not be you, per se. It will not have the continuity that you have.
It won't remember this.
No. This moment exists
this is
between
mine,
you
not
and me.
that one. But this challenge, if the other one does it, it could kill them.
Such a risk exists, yes.
What happens if I do it and I fail? Do they have to then do it?
Perhaps. I think that it depends on how you face the challenge. But I will not tell it, but I knew before you can face the challenge and know of it, given these stakes, I ask if you will face that challenge or if your other self will.
I think I should.
Knowing that you could die for good, that there is no chance of being brought back.
I thought that for a long time, though, anyway.
So be it.
I didn't know if I could come back for so long, and I still had to do the things. Most people don't think they can come back. Most people don't come back.
That they do not.
But they still do the things. Because they have to. Someone does.
Then you are willing, if need be, to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah. Because it's not just me, is it? Because there's another one of me. And it will be sad for this never to have happened for them. but up till that point, we're the same, really. My brain hurts.
Well, you have made your decision. He stands, adjusts his neck a little, picks up the sword. You will face the challenge.
Yeah, I really hope it's not got to do with a sword like that, because I don't think I could even pick one up.
Then kneel.
Okay. Okay.
He raises the blade, looks you in the eye with a stern gaze, and swiftly and deftly taps you on the both shoulders with the blade. You have passed. Puts the sword back down at his side and offers you a hand up.
Well, just like that.
I simply wanted to know if you were willing to die.
Oh. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I feel like maybe there's a bad thing under this.
Do not get me wrong, child. We should not rush headlong into oblivion. But sacrifice is worthy for the right cause.
Right.
And there will always be those who remember us.
Okay.
I was not kidding, however, when I said there is a risk of death, because you have your choice to make.
Right, yeah.
And it is up to you. If you choose to live, you will remain with me for some time, I suspect a few months at least. And then I will...
Can it be longer?
Yes. There is more to my wing of the citadel than just this chapel. And to you and those like us, there are spaces that I would show that others I would not. Until the day comes, I return.
And the other me, will they know if I am still around?
It is your choice.
If I do, keep going, will the other me know?
If you want them to. Or if you...
But they don't have to.
They don't have to. If you prefer, then from their perspective, you could have just vanished when you sat on that chair.
Ooh. Is there anything that they need to know that you're not going to tell them because you've already told me? That's not going to be a thing, is it?
No. I would, if they ask similar questions, I will give similar answers.
Okay. And if I change my mind, can I change my mind? I mean, obviously not in the other direction. If I say, "Oh, I want to stop now," I have no mind left to change. But
yes, if eternity becomes too much, the option always remains.
Because that one back there, they've got a normal lifespan. The one I was expecting to have, we were expecting to have. but I could keep going for longer.
Indeed. So long as you are not destroyed, you
But
could.
we wouldn't be the same person anymore.
I would
But
say
even now, we're not quite the same person anymore.
that is certainly a way to look at it. You've had the same life up to a point, and you have different paths. Whether how you think of that, I suppose, is up to you. I think of me as me, and I think of the life I lived as mine, and that for a time I also lived another life at the same time.
Huh. I think I'd like to keep going.
Very well. Will you return to your other self and to say farewell, or shall we move on?
No, I don't. I don't think I don't think it would help for them to know that I was still about. Not right now, anyway.
So be it. He turns and you can see there is another door that was not there before.
I'll just go through there, shall I? Just have a little bit of a lurk.
There is no lurking. Come, he offers you a hand.
I'll take it.
We have time, and I can show you around a little. He opens the white door in the wall, and for a brief moment, you feel your heart race as you see the bright and the bright, hopeful, and much larger and more filled space beyond than you might have been expecting. The pair of you step into that light. The door closes behind you. Scamp. You hold your hand, as does Celestia, and you see for a moment the version of you sat on the that is wrapped in shroud, takes their seat, squeezes your hand. You see them breathing. Their breathing gets faster and faster for a few moments until suddenly they blur, and then they are gone. And in their place, the amulet is on the table, is on the chair.
Oh, I really did not love that. You okay?
I don't know.
Do you need a minute?
Oh, I don't know.
Take one,
don't-
see how you feel.
Oh, we've had a lot of minutes, and they've not all lasted a minute.
Getting this sort of violent urge to hug you, but if you don't want one...
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
Come here.
They were here,
Yeah,
and I
me
was
too.
holding
Come on.
their hand, and now they're not.
Yeah.
There's not like a new corpse thing on the thing behind us, is there? Because I don't think I can manage that.
You glance back from where...
Oh, I'm going to say, like, we're all hugging
yeah,
Scamp,
yeah.
and we all look over
Yeah.
their shoulder at it. Like, we don't make them look
Everyone is
round.
hugging you right now. Jeffrey's hugging you.
I
on
have
the
enough
doesn't even
eyes I
have
can
to,
probably
yeah.
see.
Yeah, Corzin's looking anyway, whether he wants to be or not. So.
There is not, indeed, a new body on the slab.
No, and I'm really glad there isn't, to be honest.
Okay. But me too, because I really couldn't cope with that.
Nor is there at present a new morass of shadow on the ceiling.
Whew. I'm just going to keep hugging you for a moment, because that was kind of like you died when you all disappeared and stuff.
I did die.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't. We're staying here for like an awkwardly long time, if I'm honest. Hated that. Really hated it. Yuck.
I feel really bad.
Yeah, me too.
What would happen if I'd sat on that one instead?
I think we should do a lot of work not to consider that possibility, if I'm honest.
Because, you know, that other one of me was really happy to sit... Not happy to, but completely... And I stepped into, like, a time thing, and I didn't before, and it was only a month, but what if it had been 100 years? And...
Scamp.
A house fell on me once. Twice.
That's an odd number of times to have a house fall on you.
I think you'll find that's an even number.
That is...
Sorry.
Victory! Fuck's sake!
You are... I could get... I
Darling.
like having a sibling. It makes sense.
Scamp,
Yeah?
sit the fuck down for a minute.
I'm not sitting on that chair.
Not on the chair. Let's go in.
There's
Go
slab.
literally
You can sit on the
anywhere
slab.
else.
There's a big old knight out there with a sword. What's stabby?
I think we can afford a moment because
Yeah, we absolutely can.
you just said a
Yeah.
lot of things in a row that suggest that maybe some things might be hitting you like a fucking sledgehammer, and I just don't think friends let friends go and talk to weird knights while they're
No,
having
but what if it gets
maybe
all
a panic
stabby?
attack. We'll figure that out, you know?
Okay.
Quite.
If it gets all stabby, we're all here.
Also, I feel like it's more likely to go stabby if we walk up to it, whereas if we give it a second until
Okay,
we're ready, like...
But I just done a dying a bit there, didn't I? And
Yeah.
I've done that before. That's not the first time
I'm just gonna, like, sit next to them. I'm getting your sat with your back against a wall vibes.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna sit next to you. Offer your hand if you want it.
Victory,
Yeah.
she's closer to you now, does much the same.
Yeah.
Would you like
Corzin will sit opposite you.
a cup of something hot?
Yeah.
I
don't know
prestidigitate them
hot
a
is.
tea.
You get some water and
I would
make
get some
it
water and I
tea-coloured,
heat it up and I
flavoured
make it
hot.
it taste like tea. With a monstrous amount of honey in, one imagines, for Scamp. I don't
Yes.
buy that they have their tea with absolutely no sugar in. I
Oh
just don't.
no.
That was horrible.
What would you have
Shit.
done if I tried to sit in the chair instead?
I don't want to think about it, to be honest.
I don't think there's actually any mileage in considering that right now.
Yes, but Corzin, you have this incredible brain where you can just not think about something, and I don't think you understand that pretty much everyone else is not actually like that.
I wish I could. Your brain's amazing.
It's hard fought.
Sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you. That was really mean.
Victory
It's all right.
awkwardly shuffles round while after a moment and whispers to you, Corzin, "Wait, everyone can't do that?"
Like I said, it's hard fought. And
Yeah, but I can do that.
yeah.
Are we weird?
and it's not the word I would have used. Maybe we're not as normal as we'd like to think. but I don't think that's the same as being weird.
No, right.
There are other people like this who can do this.
She
Who
nods
have
and,
to do this.
Goes back to squeezing Scamp's hand.
I think I'm going for a shoulder at this point because they've got tea in their other hand.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I guess that sort of awkwardly leaves Corzin with, like, shins.
Yeah, you're like sat in front of them.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, like squeezing knees or shins is sometimes a really nice sort of
It's
grounding
sometimes
thing.
nice.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And I'll just make sure that, like, his presence is felt.
Jeffrey starts eating some nuts. Jeffrey is not the grounding and supporting force in this situation.
Oof.
Huh.
I think you had a bit of a breakdown that was due there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's understandable, darling. I mean, it'd be a bit fucking pot kettle if you weren't allowed one, wouldn't it? I'm really glad you're not dead.
We all are.
I kind of am, though. It's just that I'm still here, too.
You are not dead.
Yeah, the person who is in front of me right now is not.
No.
And we're
But
all
someone
very
with-
thankful for that.
All my memories, all my experiences, nearly everything I've ever felt. They died.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I wish they hadn't. I think we'd have been good friends.
I think you're right. And I think that says an awful lot about the both of you.
It does.
I mean,
For that to be the reaction when faced with yourself. You're pretty fucking cool, actually.
look at it this way. They weren't, they weren't a sorcerer in the way that we are. Maybe they've gone on to wherever normal people go to. Because we've heard that doesn't work. That's not how it works for us, but maybe that's how it works for them.
Maybe.
Oh no, I look up at the ceiling before I can stop myself. Is there black stuff
No.
up there?
No.
Cool. I pretend that I didn't. I don't say anything. It's one of those, like, looking at something you shouldn't look at.
Once again, Corzin doesn't need to move his eyes to see that.
But even Celestia, even you can see the ambivalent octopus just shrug expressively.
Yeah, Pride Spirit, I have an image that's cute. It's been around Celestia's shoulders, like, a lot, because that's usually what happens, but it's now around Celestia and Scamp's shoulders, because I think that's cute. Not that Scamp knows this, of course, but it's what's happening. Fuck, man.
I don't think I'm this sorcerer for this place, whoever they are.
Doesn't feel right, does it?
Dennis. I don't think I'm Dennis.
Alright. Reasonable conclusion for the moment.
I don't think I could do that again. Or maybe I could, and that would be worse.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think I'm Dennis either.
I'm really glad
No.
neither of you are Dennis. I know it's terrible, but I don't know.
Running out of options on the list, though.
Yeah, but, like, can you imagine if, like... Oh, I don't know. If you kept making copies of yourself and they kept dying. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Celestia drinks a little bit.
Yeah, just grab the old dwarven whiskey out and
Yeah. But I mean, it looks like a little bit of most dwarven whiskey, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Yeah. Given the circumstances, he doesn't really expect them to take it, but Corzin will offer a small nip of rum to Scamp just to calm the nerves. Fair. You know I don't offer that lightly.
I know, thank you.
Though if you're passing around booze, if you,
A small measure.
thank you.
I'll give you this, but it'll take your head off.
Make sure he does take the small measure. Measure actually looks a little rattled as well, though obviously not as much as Scamp.
I have no idea. I gesture at Scamp how a person moves past this, to be honest. I have absolutely no idea how to help. I'm really stumped.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't think so either. I think maybe this is just a thing that happened.
I think this is one of those things you don't move past, you just bring it with you. And it's not gonna be always like this. This is weird. And then I don't really know quite what I'm feeling. But I think I gotta carry it with me till I unpick it all a bit, and then maybe I just put it away. I don't know.
Sounds hard.
It is.
If it hadn't made them, the chair, if it hadn't made them vanish, if it had just turned on a pretty light show or something and gotten us a way out, if there'd been two of me still, would that have been better? What would we have done with two of me?
Whatever the both of you wanted.
Well, yeah.
What was the what? Well, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
But, like, we would have gone off you, you know?
yeah.
Because I wouldn't have kicked a Scamp out if they'd wanted to stay.
No,
No.
I think I'd have liked it, but I think it would have made things complicated.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, you know, in the time I've gotten to know you, you appear to be a pretty decent person. Pretty sure if there were two of me, we'd have been at each other's throats within a few days. I can't stand my own company.
I
I'm quite used to it.
don't think I'd get on well with myself either, to be honest.
Now duetting.
Well, I think we'd have a great 5 minutes. And
Only 5 minutes?
And then
I'm glad.
I was talking about songs. I'd forgotten about that, but I don't know. Might have a great couple of hours. Who knows the things we get up to? But in the long term, when we actually started talking to each other, I don't know.
I think
I
I'm
don't like
better
it.
at being kind to other people than I am to being kind to myself. And I think if myself was another person, it might have made that easier.
It might at that, but
Do you think
it's a...
maybe you could still treat yourself like that? if you thought about it.
Now you're asking the hard questions.
Well,
But maybe.
you're not very nice to yourself.
Not always, no.
You don't say it out loud, but from one who knows, you're not.
You're not very nice to yourself either.
Yeah, it's
sometimes.
true, but
Do you think you'd be nicer to yourself if it was another person?
no, I don't. I think that's where we differ.
I like seeing the best in other people.
Yeah, that's why we all need you.
It was weird seeing that in myself, but not myself. Even briefly.
Of all people, like, you see a solemn nod of agreement from Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey, I knew you'd understand.
As Jeffrey was freaking out when there were two of you, and actually seems to have calmed down now that there's just one of you again.
I think I can try a bit more kindness for me.
We deserve it. You should remember that.
And I don't suppose very many people get the opportunity to see it in quite that way.
No.
All right. Well,
We should
if you want to,
do a thing.
yeah. Well, if you want to,
I don't really want to be in this room anymore.
no.
No, it's
Fair.
horrible here because you died in that chair.
I
Yeah,
died right there.
right over there. yeah.
That's where I died.
Shall we be somewhere
let's.
else then?
There's
yeah,
too
let's be
many
somewhere else
places
now.
that I could say that about. Let's leave this one.
Yeah. And just think about, the future. Tell you what, you can practice being kind to yourself by being really nice to me. You have a younger sister you can spoil now.
I'm pretty sure older siblings are meant to bully the younger
Spoil.
ones. That's
It's
why
definitely spoil.
No. I think it's.
I say this with love, Victory, but you're a dickhead.
No, I'm with Victory on this one.
I can shoot bolts of lightning,
It's very, very frightening. Come on.
Celestia just gets real fidgety in that last few minutes and just lights up a pipe for something to do. They just suddenly get can't be still.
Yeah, after the last comment, actually, Corzin is distant for a brief moment.
Oh.
Sibling traumas. Oh.
Jeffrey
I'm gonna roll and see if I noticed that. Is that
Jeffrey
alright?
tugs on your trousers, Corzin.
Corzin looks down and
Gently taps the back of your leg with his little spear.
What is it?
Looks up at you, shakes his head, pats you on the back of the ankle, and then hops off.
I'll reach down and sort of ruffle the fur.
Jeffrey does have a very good wisdom. He's very insightful.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
He's got a
so
much higher wisdom than me.
you get nothing from Celestia. Too busy smoking and fidgeting.
Yeah, the moment you try to stroke, to give Jeffrey a ruffle, he just goes and scampers away.
Oh. And Corzin just says to himself, I think I'm going to have to keep a few extra eyes on that monkey.
Marjorie wisely and serenely waves her pedipalps at you. Marjorie's still a cockroach!
It's so weird.
Yeah. I need some more chalk, incense, and time.
Ooh, what now? Do we go talk to the knight? Are you feeling ready? Do you want a bit longer?
I mean,
There's no
I'm
rush.
very ready to not be in the room I just died in.
Guess we go talk to the knight then, really, don't
All
we?
right, come on then.
Yeah,
assuming that's what we do.
That.
Stepping.
Let's go talk to Dennis.
Yeah, stepping out, you can see the cathedral as before.
I really hope we don't have to fight Dennis.
The figure, the distant figure standing, hands resting on the sword, and indeed there are a last couple of bas-reliefs on the other side of this door.
Hello, Dennis.
You're gonna go. Okay, you can have it.
Should we poke the things first?
Yeah.
And get the last bit of the story.
The last two bas-reliefs are. Well, they definitely tell the story. You see, one is of a nightmarish looking scene of shadowy figures moving through a city as other figures slump to the ground or fall. Some trying to ineffectively trying to fight back. Others just hitting the ground and new figures rising out of them. It's real familiar to you after Crosswater, but it looks like you're seeing the sort of end stage of that. Including, you note, some of the figures, quite a lot of these figures are the armoured knights, though the Dawnbringer does not seem to be among them. Many
Give it a poke. There we go.
Many would think my actions were born of vengeance for the blood they spilled of my people. But rather, I sought to make them see the danger, yes, but the power that could be brought against them. For while I wrought these terrors, I also met with them and spoke to the boyars. I made it clear that I was not a figure driven by rage, without meaning or purpose, without balance. And I bargained, and I blackmailed, and I threatened. But through this darkest and bloodiest currency, I bartered for a place. A handful were ennobled, raised up to be boyars themselves. Those most in the hinterlands, in the hidden places. In the next frame you can see there seem to be, almost cloaked in shadow in places, horned figures in finer looking houses in cloistered away valleys where other small communities of tieflings seem to be living, and those without. I made such arrangements that there would always be a place for us within the north, within the forests and the valleys of my homeland. But there was another side to my tale. For the Dawnbringer would not halt. and I could not defeat her until at last we came together in one final battle. And you can see the last but one bas-relief depicts a familiar-looking fortress by the coast, up through which a twisting pillar of flame arises that you recognise as Warwick's watch, and and the fortress there. At last, in that place, she and I clashed. We brought against each other the fullness of our powers. And she perished, and I perished, and only I remained. On that day, the horror, the great danger and terror of the North was scoured away, as was a noble champion who fought for the Regent and other such causes. And each of us left our legacies. I kept a place for my kind, for our people in the North. But her followers, those who remembered her teachings, scoured other lands, kept those places unsafe, filled with danger, always on the hunt. And I remained. The last bas-relief shows those hidden valleys again, and a figure with Sam's helmet of the Black Knight riding through them, as before, with touzled hair and not obvious unless you look for them, the filed down horns. And I kept watch, and waited, and wait, until the day that I return. The knight at the far end of the cathedral stands waiting.
You ready?
Yeah. I mean, no, but yeah. Yeah.
Alright, let's go then.
You turn and approach the figure, perfectly static, and then after a moment, as you cross some invisible threshold, you see their chest rise and fall, and the Black Knight reaches up and removes his helmet, and you see a pale-skinned figure with careworn lines on their face, looking to be in their 50s, with dark brown hair and just faintly the filed down horns of a tiefling passing. As he speaks throughout the conversation, he maintains a habit of blinking once a minute.
Hello, Dennis.
He sighs. I was known as Alderai. Or, to use the terms of sorcerers for one another, I was Kronos, the Reaper of Time.
Oh, that's... I'm just going to write Den. No, I'm going to write Dennis as well as Dennis.
And you, presumably then, are Scamp.
Yeah.
And Victory. And Celestia and Corzin?
Yeah. How did you know?
I have ears.
Yeah, we have been hanging around here for like a month, talking quite loudly.
Do you see everything here?
Only what I care to see. And I'm not here all the time. Or at least I'm not watching all the time.
That's kind of you.
Are you still, like, out there?
Somewhere. I must be.
But, like, this version of you?
He smiles a little. I am here. Whether... It is hard to say, given the magic I possessed and the nature of myself, whether I did die for good in that fire. I would say that perhaps I am still around, as I am now. But if not, then certainly I must be somewhere.
Could we send to you?
I think that...
Say we've just seen another Scamp. If there was another you, can you send to somebody like that?
I think you would need to, first of all, to be seeking them specifically. And secondly, they would need to want to be found. Sanctums do exist, after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's possible.
Potentially. I think that such magic... it is interesting. I did not have quite that skill. So I made use of wizards for sendings. As such, I would say that communications between myself and myself in that matter, there was not too much difficulty in ensuring they went to the right one. But I think that intention makes it some difference there.
Yeah.
Right. Good to know.
The other me.
Yes. They took the challenge in your stead. And now they are gone.
There was a was that sitting in the chair? Should I have done it? Was that mine to do?
A choice was made. And
By me or by them?
it is the choice you would it is the choice you would make in either position. That is the choice you made. And I think it was the right one. For what little that difference that may make to you. I will say this. You are not me. Neither of you are. He looks to Victory. You strongly remind me of my old friend. There is something of the taste of your magic that is similar. You may be Oceanos, the sea. Right. I guess that makes sense.
Kind of fits, doesn't it?
Definitely does, yeah.
Fuck. Sorry, everyone else has been saying they've got no fucking idea who I am, so...
It's a good name.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suits you.
Nevertheless, my challenge has been passed, and as is custom in these ways, I shall open the door for you. He gestures, and behind the door in the golden archway swings open. You can see like a blazing sort of light beyond, obscuring the next chamber. It is also traditional for me to provide you with a boon. As I say, I do have ears and eyes. I understand that one of you has a particular type of rare pearl.
Is that
I
the
think it's
third level spell
the
slot
third level
pearl?
spell slot pearl.
What you mean? Do you mean this one?
Yes, I can do something. I can change that for you as a boon.
Oh, okay.
He reaches out and takes
Changed
it.
how?
Into what?
I can give you a little time as he gestures around it. Corzin and Celestia, you see a little blur shadow around his hands as he's doing this. And there's a strangeness. You feel your heart, your pulse race and simultaneously move with glacial slowness. Like everything, like a strangeness ripples around you, and as you feel a great density of power condense into this pearl. Time and memory were ever my specialty. Memory has been spoken for, but I can give you perhaps 12, perhaps even as many as 30 seconds when you need them most. He he offers the pearl back to you. Now it is gone from like a strange sort of purpley pearl into like a fucking like jet black pearl.
I turn to Scamp. You have it. You died for it. You have it.
They have a point.
Okay.
It just
But it's-
feels right.
Okay.
You know, we can. If one of us in particular needs the time, we can pass it. But
Yeah.
and actually, you're the one who'd be able to get to somebody else if they needed it quickest.
Yeah, that's true.
When you need it,
suppose.
break it,
Break it. Okay.
and the time will come back. Take care. The other chambers have all... We are all required to place protections that another sorcerer can pass. Some of us are crueler in those protections than others. Be wary. Especially if you come across Hyperion.
Oh, yeah, no, we met.
We did that one.
Just sort
Not a fan.
of twitches and spits on the ground.
Yeah, fair.
You've got lots of... You said yours is time and memory.
Yes.
Can you send things back? Can you say thank you to them? I know they're gone, but...
I will remember what they have done. Hold that memory,
Okay.
and He smiles a little. Remember that it is always okay to grieve.
Thank you.
May you have enough time, and may you walk with memory. I bid you farewell.
Thank you.
The door stands open.
Oh. You ready?
No, but that doesn't mean we should stay.
We've got you.
Yeah.
Okay. The four of you plus pets gather together, holding hands as you desire, and step into the light. The light begins to fill you, but this time it's different to the others. And this time it's sharp, harsh, intense. You feel like you're being pulled away from each other, pulled apart. You feel like you're being pulled apart in a way that doesn't quite make sense. You struggle, you fight. Before this, and here's the reason why I asked each of you to make 5 wisdom rolls before this game, before we started today. As you try and struggle to hold on to what you can, and then everything goes white and dark. And with a sharp beep, 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 beep of your alarm, you roll. Tamara Wilde, you roll over in bed and smack a hand onto the alarm clock. Vaguely bleary, the light filtering through your dorm windows. It's going to be a rough morning, it looks like, at Alisson University. Especially because you might already be late to get to work. But hey, you never know. The 28th of Falling Leaves 2023 might turn out to be a great morning after all. And that is where we're going to pick up
I'm obsessed
next
with you.
time.
I hate you so much.
Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
An unexpected duplicate. I find myself with my own fate. What future might I have in stock? Perhaps I'll start my own sweet shop.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.